from the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. It's the Buffalo Bills versus the Miami Dolphins. Brought to you by Ford, who invites you to drive the new Ford Aerostar. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store. And by Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you.
A picture postcard day in southern Florida, and a very important game at Miami's Orange Bowl. As you look at the AFC East standings, Miami's up on top 11-4. New England and the New York Jets still very much in it on this last Sunday of regular season play in the NFL. Very happy to have you with us this afternoon. Jay Randolph to call the play, and alongside to analyze the action, Bob Greasy. And Robert, certainly this is a big game for Miami down the road.
Well, Jay, they win this ball game. They win the AFC Eastern Championship, which means, first of all, for the players, they get next week off. Secondly, they'll play a divisional playoff game at home. And thirdly, if the Raiders lose tomorrow night, they have an opportunity to play the AFC Championship game here in the Orange Bowl.
Standing in the Dolphins' way, the Buffalo Bills. They've had a tough year, only 2 victories. But of late, they have played much better. Last Sunday in Pittsburgh, Greg Bell, a big day. First play of the game for him.
Well, this was a big play. Got him off on the right foot. They have done very well offensively in the first half. In fact, they were ahead 21-0. Hank Bullough's problem is to get him to play that way the entire 60 minutes.
And the keys to this ball game here in the Orange Bowl this afternoon, first of all for Buffalo.
Well, Buffalo has to avoid mistakes. They lead the National Football League in penalties, and they lead in turnovers. Their defense has played well. It's offensive inconsistency that's been their downfall.
Miami's coming off a big win on Monday night, and you can punctuate your key right there.
Well, they have to avoid a letdown. They've played against the Bears and the Patriots, and they've won very convincingly. Shula has to motivate them here today.
Claude Reves, the rookie from Tennessee, will put the ball in play for Miami. Back to receive, 21, Don Wilson, 45, Anthony Steeles. Hope you'll enjoy it wherever you are this afternoon. The Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. Kick comes to Steeles. He's at the 15, at the 20, 25. Fights his way to the 30 and just over the 30-yard line. Tackle made by 34, Woody Bennett, 25-yard return. Buffalo sets up shop. Matheson at quarterback. Greg Bell, Booker Moore. The wide receivers, Butler, the rookie Andre Reed. The tight end is Eason Ramson. Grant with Richer and Vogler, Jones and Devlin up front. First down. The tight end Ramsden goes in motion. Matheson almost intercepted. Matheson trying to get it to Eason Ramson. Paul Langford, the left cornerback, 44, almost came up and took it away. Batters Charles and Bocamper on the defensive line for the Dolphins. Rudzinski, Brophy, Brown, and Hugh Green. They're the linebackers. The defensive backs, Langford, Judson, Blackwood, and Brown. A good group there. The Dolphins, well, on defense, they're 24th in the National Football League, but they play well enough to win. Second down. Give goes to Greg Bell. Bell gets a couple. Hugh Green, number 55, as this big crowd yells, Hugh, Hugh, and Green has been something special. 6 sacks.
Number 71, Mike Charles, is one of the big improvements on the Dolphins defense. The other is 55, Hugh Green, who makes the tackle. But Charles coming into his own, and the coaches have been saying that he's playing very well, and it's about time. He has not lived up to the expectations the last year or so.
Miami in a nickel defense. 3rd down and 8 from the shotgun. Matheson throws outside, and again almost intercepted, this time by the 5th defensive back, Don McNeil, number 28. They were going for Joe Cribbs over there.
This is a tough place for a young quarterback like Matheson to come in and play. The Bills, we said a little earlier, 16-1, the opposite direction. They have lost 16 of 17 ball games. They have not won on the road in a very long time. It's very tough to come down here in the Orange Bowl and play the Dolphins, especially when you're a new quarterback like Matheson. It'll be tough for him today.
John Kidd will do the punting. He's averaging 41.4. Tommy Vigorito, who has come back from knee surgery to receive. A boomer from Kidd. Vigorito back inside the 10. He's at the 15, the 20, out to the 24-yard line. There to make the play, Darrell Talley, the linebacker from West Virginia, number 56. 57-yard punt, 15-yard return. Marino at quarterback with Nathan and Bennett. Duper and Clayton, and the tight end Bruce Hardy starting it off for the Dolphins of Don Shula. A brilliant Dwight Stevenson is at center with Foster and Clark, Geisler and Lee.
That'll be a matchup we'll be looking at all day. Dwight Stevenson and Fred Smerlas. They've battled over the years, and that'll be a good one today.
Miami with a record of 11-4, needing the victory here today to win the NFC East. Woody Bennett cracks across the 30-yard line. He got near the 34 and near the first down. Bennett averaging 4.7 per carry, hit by Don Wilson, number 21. Williams and Smerlas with the rookie Bruce Smith for the defense of the Bills. Frazier, Marv, Hazlitt, and Sanford are the linebackers. Burrows, the rookie, back there with Romes, who's having a whale of a year, and Steve Freeman and Don Wilson. Second down, along one. Nat Moore, number 89, in the lineup for the Dolphins, the veteran wide receiver. Hand off to Tony Nathan. Nathan freelancing, doing a nice job getting outside. First down at the 37-yard line is Derek Burrows, who starts today at left cornerback for the Bills. Number 29 made the play.
Watch Woody Bennett, 34, as he goes in and blocks on the nose tackle, gets a good block. Now this is just good running on the part of Bennett. Good defense by the Bills had stopped the play, but Nathan, with his athletic ability, gets outside, picks up a first down.
Duper 85 and Clayton 83 are the wide receivers now as Moore has come out of the lineup. First down for Miami. Marino wants to put it up. Over the middle. It's caught by Nathan. Nathan's at the 45 and out to the 47-yard line. His 67th catch of the season. Tony Nathan, the 7-year man from Alabama, pick up 11 yards. Charlie Romes, 26, made the tackle. Nathan ranks number 2 on Miami's all-time receiving list behind Nat Moore.
Really, Jay, a very valuable addition to that receiving core. You know, as you said, he's caught 66 already, but the ones that get all the attention are the Dupers and the Claytons and Nat Moore, and now you've got a 4th receiver with 66 catches coming out of the backfield.
Don Shula has felt that Tony Nathan has been underrated. He thinks he ought to be in the Pro Bowl. First down from the 48-yard line. Marino with time, throwing, outstretched fingertips of Mark Clayton down at the 35-yard line. Derek Burrows, 29, had the coverage. Marino starts the day with 321 completions out of 543, 59.1% average.
And a lot of people have asked Don Shula during the week, how has Marino been playing? Is he playing better than last year? And Shula just chuckles and says, well, it's kind of hard to have a better year than he had last year with 48 touchdown passes, over 5,000 yards in passing, but he says he's doing pretty well.
11:37 to play, first quarter, no score in the Orange Bowl. Nat Moore back in there as a wide receiver with Clayton and Duper on second down. All kinds of time for Marino. He dumps it off to Nathan, and Nathan is very close to a first down near the 42-yard line of the Bills. Tackle was made by the linebacker, number 54, Eugene Marv. And I think they're going to bring the chains in. They are. There's Hank Bulla.
Hank Bulla, excuse me, Jay. Good coverage in the secondary. He's done a great job with the Bills' defense. He has been a fine defensive coordinator in this league for many years, was very highly sought after before this year. The Buffalo Bills enticed him to come as their defensive coordinator, and now is taken over as head coach. But a fine defensive coordinator and doing a good job with the defense.
You saw the referee, Gene Barth, indicate first down Miami. Joe Carter, number 23, is in the Dolphin backfield now. Carter, the 2nd-year man from Alabama. He figures to play a lot this afternoon. He only had 9 yards on 1 carry before the game last Monday night. He picked up 50. He also lost a fumble late in the game that nearly caused a big problem for the Dolphins against New England. Driving over the right side is Carter. Carter cracks down to the 36-yard line. Haslett, 55, making the tackle.
Take a look at 55, Haslett, the leading tackler on this team, as the Bills jump around defensively, showing the Dolphins one look and then moving to another. That time, Haslett makes the tackle, but not before Carter picks up 5 or 6 yards.
And on second down, Nat Moore comes in to replace Mark Duper. And across the 35 and cracking to the 31-yard line is Woody Bennett. Bennett, who played here at Miami, of course. Stopped by Don Wilson, 21. First down for the Dolphins. An impressive drive on their first opportunity.
Well, Jay, it's a good point, and I think you have to look to Marino, because I think this is the maturity of Dan Marino this year. In the past, he was a little bit impatient, and the defenses have been throwing a lot of different looks at him, playing deep so he can't throw the ball downfield. He has to take what's there, and a lot of that is underneath passing. The Bills are not letting him go deep early in the ball game.
This is the 8th play in the drive. Nathan is back in there. Pass is batted down. Number 52 doing the job. Guy Frazier, the left outside linebacker, got a hand on it. Frazier, who came from Cincinnati last August, was a number 4 draft choice for the Bengals.
You see Williams getting by the first man, but Marino not being sacked very many times. Good coverage on the play. Man-to-man coverage, and whenever you see a screen pass and you see the back out there and the linebacker right with him, the screens don't work because it's man-to-man coverage, and that linebacker is responsible for that running back that's trying to catch the screen. You always like to check out of it if you can see man coverage before the snap on a screen.
Bills go into a prevent defense now as Marino on second down throws. It's complete. That is Bruce Hardy, the tight end, number 84. Very close to the first down. Lucius Sanford, number 57. The linebacker made the stop.
Marino is so good, and he has so many different targets to go to. Hardy, one-on-one on Sanford. Sanford, a good coverage linebacker, brings him down.
Going to get another measurement. This Miami offensive line has given up the fewest sacks each of the last 2 seasons, in 83-23 and 84-14. They lead again in 85, allowing only 17 of those against Marino. Here's the measurement, and a little short. Don Shula, 55 years old, out of Painesville, Ohio, an offensive back at John Carroll, later played for the Cleveland Browns. Remarkable record in professional football. The Baltimore Colts and these Miami Dolphins. New England has the early lead. The field goal by Tony Franklin from 26 yards out. New England, of course, very much in the playoff picture. Cincinnati out of business now. Ron Davenport, number 30, into the game for the Dolphins to work with Woody Bennett. Short yardage situation. First down for Davenport. Davenport, you know, has 12 touchdowns this season, Robert, 10 rushing, and he's the guy they go to when they got to have half a yard or a yard.
Well, he's the rookie out of Louisville, 6th-round draft choice. Before the season, when he first came in, he was running too high. They tried to get him to run a little lower your shoulder. Now he's standing up again. You see, when you stand up straight, those linebackers can come in and push you backwards, and that is not the way they like to have him run. They want him to lower his shoulder and plow through there when the linebackers are coming up to make a tackle.
Williams, 77, made the stop. Marino is 3 out of 5, 30 yards. First down. And Marino to throw. Up on a dandy. 19 yards for the score. They beat Steve Freeman on the play, and a really fine catch by Hardy, Bob.
A fine, patient drive by the Dolphins and Marino.
The point after, Vaude Reves with Don Strock holding. A 11 plays, 76 yards. 8:04 left to play in the first quarter. And the pass from Marino to Hardy. Miami 7, Buffalo nothing.
It has been proven that the more aerodynamically styled a vehicle is, the easier it slices through the air. And now, Ford brings you the age of Aerostar. Aerostar, the most aerodynamic design in its class. Aerostar. It's easy to get in, easy to drive, easy to stretch out in, easy to handle, easy to park. Aerostar. It just makes life a little easier. Aerostar. Ford Aerostar.
I had to try this to believe it. Denerex tingles. Tells me it's doing more. Selsun Blue, no tingle.
Both have dandruff medicine, but Denerex adds an extra anti-itch medicine many dermatologists recommend.
So long, Selsun Blue. Hello, Denerex.
Look, his nose is clogged. See? Hardly any breath shows. Now, Dristan long-lasting. Just one spray treatment has the staying power to clear congestion as long as 6 4-hour cold capsules. That's 12-hour relief.
I'm breathing.
Dristan long-lasting nasal spray.
It's a Radio Shack Merry Christmas.
I solved all my gift problems at Radio Shack's Christmas electronics sale. Got my son 2-way bass reflex speakers, half price for only $39.95 each. For my daughter, a cordless telephone, on sale $69.95. I got my wife a dual alarm clock radio, sale price $34.95. I even got myself a full-size solar calculator with memory, on sale only $8.88. Super sale.
A Christmas electronics sale only at Radio Shack.
Let's go back and take a look at this touchdown. Watch Freeman in the middle of the field. He's going to go cover the middle of the field. Now here's Hardy going to release outside and straight down the field, make one heck of a catch in between these two defensive backs. Freeman goes to the middle of the field, backing straight up. Good coverage. Zone coverage down deep. It had to be an excellent throw and an excellent catch. I'm sure the Bills thought they were in good coverage at that point.
Reve's kicking off, a short kick taken by Steele. Steele's at the 20, at the 23, still on his feet, and goes down at about that point. Stop was made by Brophy.
Jay in Foxborough, after New England got possession following a James Brooks fumble, Craig James rips off this 35-yard run. They aren't able to score a touchdown. They settle for a 25-yard field goal by Tony Franklin and lead the Bengals 3-0 in the first. Merry Christmas, Jay and Bob.
Thank you, Robert, and holiday greetings to you and yours. Buffalo set to operate, going in motion. Andre Reed. And the handoff to Greg Bell. Bell is stopped by Mike Charles, the nose man, number 71, who came in there. The scoring drive by Miami, very impressive, Bob, and good balance. 6 passing plays and 5 running plays.
And as we mentioned, good patience by Marino. Over the season, he has had to adjust. And in that drive, the Bills went to different styles of defenses. They even threw in the Chicago Bear style defense, and that's what they scored against. The Dolphins scored against on that 3-deep zone for the touchdown.
Going in motion is Reed, 2nd down and 6 from the 28. Bell is close to a first down. Looks like he's got it at the 35-yard line. Bell starting the day with 833 yards, 3.9 average, stopped by Glenn Blackwood, the strong safety, number 47.
It's a little offset I formation. He offsets the fullback a little bit to help him get out to his block. But the Bills have to be pretty confident offensively coming into this ball game after what they did to Pittsburgh last week in the first half, scoring 2 offensive touchdowns. And one of their keys, though, Jay, is every time they're in I formation, it's a lot of run or play pass.
Bell had 112 yards in the first quarter against the Steelers. He gets the call again, spins away, and is down for a loss of about 2. Jay Brophy, number 53, the left inside linebacker, and Langford, 44, the left corner, making the stop. Bell now has carried the ball 4 times for 12 yards. Losing a couple there. 6:10 to go. First quarter. Miami leading 7-0. 19-yard touchdown pass going from Danny Marino to Bruce Hardy. Bell has carried the ball all 3 times. in this second opportunity for Buffalo. It is second down and about 12. Ramsden goes in motion to the far side, and the first penalty flags of the day.
Flags on the play.
False start, 51 offense. He broke before the snap. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
The call against the left guard, Jim Richer, Gene Barth, St. Louis, Missouri, and his crew working today. Rounding out the crew, Bob Boylston, Burl Toller, Jack Johnson, Pete Lisk, who used to play in the National Football League, Jerry Austin, and Bernie Kukar. Oh, it's going to be second down now.
Second and 16.
Let's make it 16. Reed comes to the near side. Matheson throws it out for Bell. Bell's at the 30, 35, at the 40. Short of the first down out at the 42-yard line. Bell catching his 56th pass of the season and a 14-yard pickup on the play. He was stalled finally by the free safety, Bud Brown. Bring you up to date on some scores. The Jets are leading Cleveland 3-0 in the first quarter. Chicago has the lead over Detroit 3-0. Philadelphia leads Minnesota 7-0 first quarter. Kansas City over San Diego 7-0 in the first quarter.
We've got Bruce Smith on short yardage in the backfield, Jay, for the Buffalo Bills. A la the refrigerator.
Yes, number 78's in the backfield.
You saw the referee there telling the Dolphins that he was in.
3rd and 2. And the handoff goes to Bell. And I don't think he got there. You see Mark Brown, 51, on top of the pile there for the Dolphins. There's a penalty marker down.
Delay a game offense. 5-yard penalty. We'll repeat for third down.
Well, we'll do it again, but I doubt very much if we'll have the big guy there.
Well, one of the things that Hank Bullough told me was that when he took over, he wanted to eliminate some of these penalties that the Bills have gotten over the last year, year and a half. And the ones he wanted to eliminate were the stupid ones. He said, defensively, you're going to have some interference calls, but the ones I want to eliminate are the holding calls, the illegal procedures, the delay of game type penalties, and that one had to be on the sideline because they got the play in a little bit too late.
3rd down and 7 from the 38. The Dolphins are in a prevent defense. 5 defensive backs in there out of the shotgun. Matheson is rushed. He throws, and it is intended for Bell. Overthrown. They had what they wanted there. Bell was isolated down there, one-on-one with Alex Moyer. But they couldn't get it to him, and it's punting time for Buffalo as John Kidd comes back on.
Well, Jay, the Dolphins defense did something that you might expect them to do on a young quarterback, and that is blitz. They blitzed him. Good coverage in the secondary. Didn't have a lot of time to look around.
Kidd will get the punt away to Tommy Vigorito. Kidd averaging over 40 yards per punt for the second consecutive season. Prior to last season, the last Bills punter to average over 40 yards per kick was Marv Bateman way back in '76. A high floater. Vigorito takes it and is knocked out of bounds at the 12-yard line. Coming in to make the play, number 23. That's Jim Perryman. 51-yard punt, 1-yard return. More in a moment.
This holiday season, share the magic of Andre, America's best-loved champagne.
Ford Escort is the world's best-selling car. Nobody can seem to catch it. Escort outsells Nissan Sentra, Honda Civic, and Toyota Tercel by nearly 2-to-1 or more. And with its more powerful engine, Escort could make the gap even wider. So while Ford Escort continues to be the world's best-selling car, the competition somehow seems to miss the boat. Have you driven the best-built American cars? Have you driven a Ford lately?
Do you have anything in aviation?
The Army's most technical training
Are there any openings in communications?
is also the Army's most popular training.
I'd really like computers.
So it pays to have a reservation.
Electronics.
If you qualify, you can get a guaranteed reservation for the training you want up to 12 months in advance, even if you're still in high school.
We'll see you after graduation.
Find your future in the arms.
Congratulations.
With Bob Greasy, Jay Randolph here in the Orange Bowl. There's an update on the scores we have at this point in the proceedings. The AFC East, of course, the Jets and New England very much involved in possibilities for postseason play. And Miami, with a win here today, can really take the driver's seat, of course.
With Denver winning Friday night, Jay, they're the only other team that has an opportunity to get in the wild card picture. The Jets and New England have to win. If one of those two teams lose, they are out, and Denver is in.
Marino on the first drive for Miami was 4 out of 6, 49 yards, and the 19-yard touchdown to Hardy. Throwing on first down again, and it's complete to the far side, all the way up to the 19-yard line. Bruce Hardy. Steve Freeman, the strong safety, 22, making the stop.
Gain of 8.
We talked about the matchup between Stevenson and Smirlis right here. Now watch those two as Marino comes back away from the line of scrimmage. One of the things that Stevenson can do that frees up the guards is take on the nose man one-on-one and pass protect. Not a lot of centers in the National Football League can you turn over the nose man to, because a lot of the centers can't pass block that well. The Dolphins can let their guards turn out and help the tackles.
Hardy's out of the game. Johnson is in. That's Carter breaking out at the 25. And gets to the 26-yard line. Don Wilson makes the tackle, number 21. Time for an update to Bob Costas, NFL 85.
Jay, after an early exchange of field goals, the Pats go in front of the Bengals 10-3 in Foxborough on this 50-yard beauty from Tony Eason to the veteran Stanley Morgan. They go in front 10-3. Meanwhile, at the Meadowlands, the Jets have a 3-0 lead in the first quarter against the Browns. Jay?
All right, Bob, and you'll be keeping us up to date all afternoon on the playoff picture and all the scores. And at halftime, Jim Hannafin, the deposed coach of the St. Louis Cardinals, will be in with Bob and the crew. Penalty markers go down. Nathan got the football, but there may have been a little early movement. The penalty situation, the Dolphins, the least penalized team in the National Football League, was 70 coming into today's game. The Washington Redskins had 3 penalties yesterday. They end up the regular season with 74. So will the Dolphins again win the lowest penalty title for Don Shula?
Well, I think it all gets back to discipline and how you run the practice. And if you let a mistake go unchallenged in practice.
Illegal motion, 23 offense, 5-yard penalty. We'll repeat the first down.
That's Joe Carter. But if you let a mistake go unchallenged in practice, it's going to crop up in a ball game, and Shula doesn't allow it in practice, and that's why it doesn't show up a lot in the ball games.
How well you know.
I've been there.
First and 15. Dolphins now with 6 first downs. The Bills with 1. The handoff goes to Bennett. And Bennett is to the 28-yard line. On the first drive, Miami averaged 7.8 yards on first down.
On the tackle, 21, Don
Stop made by Don Wilson, number 21. Wilson out of North Carolina State, a free agent find. There he is, 6'2", 190 pounds. Has 2 interceptions this year. Let's remind you, this telecast is presented by authority of the NFL. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Miami Dolphins and the National Football League is prohibited. Second down and 11. Carter and Nathan in the backfield now behind Dan Marino. Marino, a little quick toss coming to Carter. Carter got to the 30, just over the 30-yard line, hit there by Guy Frazier, the linebacker, number 52. We have 50 seconds remaining in this first quarter. 7-0 Miami. Third down and 8. The Dolphins 11-4. The Bills 2-13. The 40th meeting between these clubs. Miami leads at 31 victories, 7 defeats. There's been 1 tie. Dolphins have won 7 of the last 8. Joe Rose is in the game now, number 80 for the Dolphins, and Marino's going to operate from the shotgun. And off it goes to Nat Moore, and Moore has a first down. Don Wilson made the stop. Well, Bob, a little razzle-dazzle and 11 yards out of it.
Shula going to his bag of tricks. Nat Moore, a wide receiver, lined up in the backfield, takes the ball on a sweep, gets some yardage, enough for a first down on 3rd and 9. But Shula ever looking for another way to use his personnel.
And a little extracurricular activity all the way downfield at the 30-yard line. Referee Gene Barth and his crew are talking it over. I didn't see what started that, Bob.
Well, it happened way away from the football, and obviously one of the Dolphin receivers was probably blocking on Burrows way away from the ball, and that's probably what caused the tempers to flare.
It was Derek Burrows and Mark Duper who got into it. There's Burrows. Burrows, who played at Memphis State, has been bothered by an ankle injury.
That ankle injury went all the way back to that preseason game here in the Orange Bowl in August.
We've got offsetting disqualification foul. 85 Miami, 29 Buffalo. The fouls occurred during continuous action. The down count.
Well, he said disqualification.
Disqualification is what he said. And we will double check. Mark Duper.
Well, Don Shula is not very happy
Don Shula doesn't like it. Duper is out of this game. And Derek Burrows also out of the game for Buffalo. There is Hank Bulla, 51 years old, from Scranton, Pennsylvania. So the coaches are having it explained to them. Mr. Barth and his crew not going to have any of it. That's Burl Toller. And now look at Don. He's headed off to speak to somebody. He is really upset.
Well, he went down to talk to the back judge that made the call through the flag.
Both these coaches a little steamed right now as the Dolphins lose Mark Duper and the Bills lose Derek Burrows.
It's a pretty strong call early in a ball game for an important game such as this, Jay.
That's the end of the first quarter here in sunny southern Florida. And the score, Miami 7, Buffalo nothing. Second quarter coming up.
An alkaline battery has one problem. It dies. So you throw it away and buy another, and another, and this is a GE rechargeable. You don't throw it away. You recharge it hundreds of times to save you hundreds of dollars. This is the heart of the remarkable GE Miser household bulb. Its advanced design creates light from energy ordinary bulbs waste. A light that saves you energy, and that saves you money. The GE Miser light. GE, we bring good things to life.
The latest Dallas Cowboy in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Mr. Roger Staubach.
Imagine being here with part of the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 1985. It's a dream come true for me. I'm Roger Staubach, and this is the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, where the class of 1985 joins 123 other men who have become part of professional football history. Frank Gatsky, the silent one, led his team to 11 championships. Joe Namath, the first man to pass for over 4,000 yards in a single season. Commissioner Pete Rozelle, who helped make professional football in the National Football League the greatest in American sports. The Juice, O.J. Simpson, first player to run for more than 2,000 yards in a single season. That's me, Roger Staubach, and I'll be here along with all the players and teams at the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, waiting for you. Don't miss it.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
Big game for the Miami Dolphins here in the Orange Bowl, and it's obvious that Mr. Barth and his crew are not going to let things get out of hand. Two men have been cast into outer darkness already here.
Well, I was a little surprised that he would throw two players out of the ball game, an important ball game for the Dolphins, certainly this early in the ball game, because now this is going to affect the Dolphins, obviously, but contact sport. I think you have to let him play a little bit. I didn't see what was going on.
On 1st and 10, the pass is complete to Nat Moore. Nat goes out of bounds at the 48-yard line. First quarter statistics as the Dolphins have the lead.
Dolphins dominate the entire first quarter stats, but what that ejection of Mark Duper does, Jay, is forces Nat Moore then to move up to the number 2 wide receiver and takes him out of a lot of the schemes that the Dolphins had planned on using him as a 3rd wide receiver. And in fact, we just saw him in the backfield running a play. We probably won't see any more of Nat Moore in the backfield.
It's a first down for the Dolphins at the 47-yard line. Woody Bennett banging inside the 45 down to the 43-yard line. Stop was made by Don Wilson, number 21. Time for another update. NFL 85, Bob Costas.
Jay at the Meadowlands. Dave Jennings punts out of his own end zone for the Jets. It's taken by Brian Brennan of the Browns at the 37. Finds a hole, scoots to the right. Jennings, the last man with a crack at him. Can't get him. It's 7-3 Browns. In Foxborough, Patriots continue to lead Cincy 10-3.
Okay, Bob, and it's 2nd down and 4 for the Dolphins. Lawrence Johnson, 48, is now at left corner for the Bills, and Joe Carter is stalled by Jim Haslett, who makes an excellent play. Haslett, number 55, now in his 7th year. Top tackler for the Bills out of Little Indiana, Pennsylvania. 6'2" and 235. He's had some back problems over the years, but a real fine player. He's a hard worker.
Jay, if there's been a bright spot on this Buffalo team this year, aside from the Greg Bell and the way he's playing, it's been their defense. Their defense has played well, and I think it's the basis is there for next year to build a solid foundation. What with Hank Bulla and the people that they have, if they bring in a couple of more good players, they could have a solid defense.
You saw Haslett go off as the Bills go into the prevent defense on 3rd and 9. Extra wide receivers in the game for Miami, and it's complete to Joe Rose, the tight end. He is short of the first down. Fine play made by Guy Frazier, the outside linebacker, against Rose.
Well, Frazier is going to cover him. The other linebacker's inside now, blitzed, and Frazier loses his technique, allows Rose to get across the field. Therefore, he's wide open. Makes the tackle, but it's...
There's an indication of a penalty here against Buffalo. Now you see Danny Marino coming over to try to figure it out, and you could hear him say, "We're short."
Delay a game, 12 men on the field for the defense. 5-yard penalty will replay the 3rd down.
Too many men on the field for the Buffalo Bills. Those are the kind of mistakes you were saying Hank Bulla doesn't want to see.
Well, he has a lot of jobs right now, wearing a lot of hats. He's the head coach. He also has to oversee everything that's going on. He's the defensive coordinator. He said earlier that next year he will definitely bring in a defensive coordinator to work directly with the defense, allow him to go back and forth from offense, defense, and also special teams.
Nat Moore and Mark Clayton are the wide receivers. 3rd down and 4. And penalty markers go down. Activity at the line of scrimmage. 12:48 to go in the first half.
False start, 61 offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Call against Ray Foster, number 61 of Miami.
Here's Foster right here. Now watch these two linebackers as they fake like they're coming, and you'll see Foster set back right there. Sanford, you see as they fake their blitz. Now they can do that, but obviously Foster cannot move.
Moore, Clayton, and Vigorito are all in the game. 3rd down and 9.
What that does, that ejection forces Vigorito, their 4th wide receiver, to be used in the ballgame.
Rose is the tight end. Marino out of the shotgun over the middle. He had to rush it and was trying to get it to Mark Clayton. He came up short. Good pressure that time. Freeman had the coverage.
Clayton comes off to the inside. Rose releases to the outside. Now Freeman sees what's going on and comes up, and the reason Marino threw it low because he saw Freeman coming up there. Good, smart play by Steve Freeman.
Reggie Roby, 2nd in the National Football League, and you see his stats right there. Many people think he's the top punter in the game. We have two good ones here today, as talented John Kidd does the punting, of course, for the Bills. Rod Hill is back to receive the punt. Hill, number 25, averaging 8.3 per return. Roby, a high short kick. And out of bounds near the 15-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 17, and that's where the Bills will take over. 30-yard punt. 12:06 left to play in the first half.
Holiday greetings from Budweiser. People who bring you Budweiser wish you and yours the very best of everything this holiday season.
With best wishes for a happy holiday season, our electronic greetings card from the folks at NBC Sports.
There's Bruce Matheson. As you see on his left wrist, he has a wristband, and on that wristband are plays listed from 1 to 50. Now, all they need to do is signal in a number, because the plays are written out. Number 28, he looks down and then calls play number 28.
First and 10 from the 17-yard line. That's Burkett in motion. And up the middle, Greg Bell. Bell still on his feet across the 30, near the 34-yard line. Stop made by Bud Brown. 16-yard pickup and a first down for Greg Bell.
And we talked about the fullback being offset. Now watch Moore right here. He's going to come in here and get a good block on the nose tackle, and the play is going to go right up behind him. Right there, double teaming on the nose tackle, Charles, a nice hole right up the center of the Dolphins' defensive line.
Glenn Blackwood, the strong safety, shaken up for the Dolphins. He's replaced by brother Lyle. Bell has 29 yards on 5 carries. Burkett, Reed, and Butler all in there as wide receivers. That's Reed going in motion, and there's trouble.
Flags on the play.
'51 false start offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Jim Richer, number 51.
Right here, Jim Richer. He'll move a little bit before the ball is snapped. Watch him right there. That's one of the things that the Buffalo Bills need to get out of their offense, is the stupid, illegal movements, delay of games. You cannot be a winning football team until you get that out of your system, and that's one thing that Hank says will be out of their system next year.
First down and 15 from the 29. Burkett coming in motion. The give again goes to Bell, and Bell fumbles. But I think he held on at the 40-yard line. He keeps it. He got 11 yards on the play. Stopped by Bud Brown, number 43.
Mike Charles on Grant. The same play that they ran a little earlier. That time Charles stands the two of them up, but to no good for the Dolphins because Bell runs right through there. The linebacker, Brophy, should have come up and filled the hole. Good blocking on the part of the Bills. Richer going out and making the block on Brophy.
Charles really arrived in the Green Bay game. He's improved. He's out of Shula's doghouse, so to speak. Second down, Bell again, just about a yard, piled up in the middle. Time for another update to NFL 85 and to Bob Costas.
Jay, the Jets come back against the Browns. Ken O'Brien throws deep. Looks like an interception for Don Rogers. But Kurt Sohn enters Mr. Rogers' neighborhood and comes away with the ball. Just like that, 39-yard TD. Jets 10, Cleveland 7, less than 2 minutes to play in the first.
The Jets, for a playoff spot, have to beat the Browns and have the Dolphins lose, or for the wild card, they must beat the Browns. We'll be keeping you up to date on that one. Third down and a long one. Handoff going to Joe Cribbs. Looks like he's got the first down, but we'll wait till they unravel him. Bruce Smith was in there again. It's becoming very fashionable, Bob, to put those big guys in the backfield.
Well, I think when you line them up in the I formation, you're slowing yourself down because it takes you a little while as we look at Glenn Blackwood with his shoe and sock off going to the locker room to be examined a little further. But when you line up that big back at I formation and the up back, it takes him a little while to get to the line of scrimmage and get out of that speedy back's way. I'd like to see him split out a little bit.
9 minutes to play in the first half. First down for Buffalo. That's Burkett going in motion. Here's Bell trying to find some running room. Nothing much there for him. Charles came in to make the play. He was moved around early, and as I mentioned, has really improved. He had some help from betters.
As you see him fighting off Grant there, stands him off the line of scrimmage, slides down the line and makes the play and waits for his friends to get here. But Charles from Syracuse University was a #2 draft choice 3 years ago and really has come into his own this year. And in fact, the last 6 or 7 ball games made a big difference in the run defense of the Dolphins.
On second down, Matheson, lots of time. He throws and almost intercepted as Paul Langford came up. Looked like he was going for Eason Ramsden or Chris Burkett, who were both over there in that zone. Chicago and Detroit are 3-3 as Eddie Murray has kicked a field goal of 42 yards. Philadelphia and Minnesota tied at 7. And Kansas City leading San Diego 14-3. That after Don Coryell got a vote of confidence from Mr. Spanos, the owner of the San Diego Chargers. Total yardage for Buffalo, 60 yards. Bell has 57 of those yards. 3rd and 9. Matheson 1 out of 5 for 14 yards. Matheson throwing on the run. Almost intercepted by Lyle Blackwood. Lyle playing the strong safety spot now for Glenn Blackwood, and he couldn't hold on. He stepped out of bounds at the same time. He was trying to get it, Matheson, to Chris Burkett.
Here's Lyle right here. The receiver's going to come down and break to the outside, and he'll try and break in front of him. But Blackwood, playing for his brother Glenn, didn't practice very much this week, had some bad ribs.
Cribbs was open deep down the middle on that last play, and they'll probably try to get to him later. Kidd just did get the kick away. Vigorito at the 10, up to the 15, and out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. 7:50 left to play in the first half. A 44-yard punt, but we've got a flag back downfield.
Running into the kicker on, I think it was Don McNeil they call it on. Had to be a first down.
That's not the roughing call, but the running into the kicker call, a 5-yarder. Going to put the ball at the 49-yard line of Miami, and the Bills will have it. 1st and 10. The Bills, 25th on offense in the National Football League coming into today's game. 23rd rushing and 20th passing.
That's a big penalty, Jay, because it gives possession back. It's like a turnover. Gives the ball back to the other team.
Burkett coming in motion, and it looked like the tight end Ramsden jumped. Eason's been around. Picked up on waivers from Houston.
False start. Number 70 offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, they called it on Joe Devlin.
Well, they both jumped, Jay, both 70 and also 87. And this is 3 illegal movements to right, the bottom of your screen. Watch 70 right there moves. No excuse for that. Just undisciplined. You have to be able to get off on the snap count. The offense has the advantage. You know the snap count, the defense doesn't.
The penalty yardage. It's going to be 1st and 15 for the Bills. Burkett going to the far side. Play action. Madison rolling. Penalty marker down. Matheson throwing into a crowd. He threw into 3 Dolphin defenders down there trying to force that ball to Burkett. It looks like we're going to get a holding call against Buffalo. They'll bring it back.
Number 70 offense, holding, still first down, 10-yard penalty.
There's Hank Bulla. He was the assistant head coach and defensive coordinator.
Says we keep beating ourselves and we're getting better at it. Well, they're unfortunately for Hank, that's true in this ball game also. They continue to set themselves back with offensive mistakes. We said the key to this game coming in was eliminate and avoid those mistakes. And so far, they haven't done it.
Already 6 penalties against Buffalo. Don Shula and Burkett limping off now.
Second quarter, Green Bay 7, Tampa Bay.
Andre Reed, 83, back in for the Bills. You saw Glenn Blackwood go off, sprained left ankle, and we'll get an update hopefully later on whether he'll be able to come back. First down, 25. Reed goes in motion. Intercepted. That's Jackie Shipp with the interception. Shipp, #1 draft pick, 2nd year out of Oklahoma. Looked like Beaucamper may have got a hand on it. 7-yard return as they were trying to get it to Eason Ramson. Miami will have it when we come back.
In the showdown between small 4x2 pickup trucks, the Ford Ranger has become the #1 bestseller. And this year, Ranger stays on top with a new Super Cab that carries 5. No one can beat it. And Ranger's more powerful V6 engine is running the others out of town. The '86 Ford Ranger, the best-selling small 4x2 pickup in America. The best-built American trucks are built Ford Tough.
Just about any personal computer does a better day's work with the help of an IBM Pro Printer. The Pro Printer produces high-speed drafts and clear graphics. It prints with near letter quality and turns out single sheets and envelopes without removing the computer paper. Best of all, the Pro Printer costs less than $550. For a better day's work, get the Pro Printer from IBM for the finishing touch.
No matter how hard you work, Right Guard can help keep you smelling good for up to 24 hours.
You work hard, you need Right Guard.
This is Brush Plus from Gillette. A shaving concentrate and brush in one. A brush to lift whiskers, a concentrate to soften them. A shave that is superior. Give him Brush Plus for a superior shave from Gillette.
We're back. Let's take a look at that interception. The tight end is going to go across the field. Now, Shipp is right here. Shipp is going to cover him, follow him across field, and then cut in front of him and pick off the ball at the very end. Both wide receivers to the top. Inside release by the tight end. Now, Shipp has a perfect angle. The problem with that pass, Jay, he throws it too late. He's been throwing a lot of passes too late.
First down at the 32. Marino throwing wide open. Mark Clayton, first down at the 9-yard line. Lucius Sanford made the stop. 23 yards on this one.
I told you a little earlier that Matheson was throwing the ball too late. Marino has the ball in the air before he breaks. Now look at the separation between the two. Right there, he can catch the ball and go back up inside. That time, Rome's Pretty good defensive back, having a great year, but just good route run by Clayton and a good throw by Marino.
Carter and Bennett now in the Dolphin backfield, double tight ends. Hardy 84 and Johnson 87. Marino's 8 out of 11. Moore goes in motion. The pitch back to Carter. Carter's at the 5. Good block by Woody Bennett up in front. Tackle by Lucius Sanford.
It's going to be a toss to the left side. You see the 2 guards pulling. The linebackers kind of overrun it. Carter stops and tries to break back inside. Pretty good pursuit, but every time you're in an I formation and the back is that deep, the one thing you have to worry about is overrunning the play.
Johnson is out of there. Clayton and Moore, the wide receivers. 2nd and goal to go. Marino. Touchdown, Bruce Hardy. Hardy, who was a quarterback in college, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon, the 4th of the season. The big guy from Arizona State. Marino congratulated by the boss.
Well, he's a Don Shula type of player, too, because he's a heady player. He's not very big and he's not very fast, but he knows probably 4 or 5 positions on this ball club. He can play both tight end positions, even play in the backfield, and is the 3rd quarterback.
4 receptions for Hardy, 41 yards, 2 touchdowns, as Miami took advantage of the turnover.
Encroachment, interior lineman, defense will penalize on the kickoff.
Oh, the penalty will go against the Bills on the kickoff, and we'll get the point after try coming. Buffalo came in minus 13 on the takeaway giveaway chart. They turned it over once today, and it's cost them. Puts it up. It is good. 6 minutes remaining to be played in the first half. Here in the Orange Bowl, the Dolphins lead it 14-0.
Betty Dorfman before the Nikon One Touch. Betty after the Nikon One Touch. The Parfit family before the Nikon One Touch. The Parfit family after. Mr. Dennis Pinkstaff before. Mr. Pinkstaff after.
This is great.
The new autofocus autoflash Nikon One Touch. It's so easy to use, it's given thousands of people something they've always wanted.
Oh, the baby's a week old. Got any pictures?
Pictures they can be proud of.
Here he comes now. See anything suspicious? I don't know. Keep staring at his cigar like there's something different about it. I'll bet it's the wrapper. Huh? Yeah, most cigars don't use natural leaf wrappers anymore. Now, gosh, your Vegas still gives you the rich tobacco taste of natural leaf wrappers. He's still staring at it. Hey, Jimmy, go on over and give him an honest cigar.
Gosh, Vega, still an honest cigar.
He's doing it again.
Today's game is brought to you by Ford and your local Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Nikon, we take the world's greatest pictures. And by Visa, accepted worldwide for shopping, dining, and travel. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
The turnover, and it only took the Dolphins 3 plays to go 32 yards for the score. Quad Reves set to kick off. And it bounds off one of the Bills, Don Wilson, and controlled at about the 14-yard line. Eric Wilson of the Bills was there, so that's where they'll put it in play. With Bob Greasy, Jay Randolph here in the Orange Bowl. Hope you'll be here with NBC on New Year's night.
There's Jim Ringo, the offensive coordinator who calls the plays. Offensive mind, formerly head coach of the Buffalo Bills. But New Year's night, the Orange Bowl, huh, Jay?
Yes, sir. It'll be Penn State and Oklahoma on NBC. That's Joe Cribbs. Cribbs getting near the 20-yard line. Cribbs starts the day with 351 yards, 3.3 rushing average. Hugh Green, number 55 on the stop. Cribbs is supposedly pretty unhappy about his situation. He has carried the ball twice for 9 yards. There's the passing yardage. Second down and about 5. Handoff goes to Cribbs again. Looks like he's got the first down. Lyle Blackwood, 42, making the stop.
Mike Charles in the middle there with, that's Vogler, 65. Double teaming Charles in the middle. Whenever you double team the nose tackle, you have to stay with him. You cannot come off and block a linebacker with one of your guards. That allows your linebackers to come up and make the tackle. There's Chuck Studley in the orange shirt, the defensive coordinator, calling the defenses for the Dolphins.
Matheson is 1 out of 7 for 14 yards and the interception. Cribbs getting the call again. He's to the 28-yard line. Hugh Green, 55, stalled him at that point, and we'll pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is WGRZ TV2 Buffalo.
14-0. Miami leading Buffalo with 4:10 left to play in the first half. Jay Randolph and Bob Greasy with you. New Year's Day, it'll all kick off with the Fiesta, followed by the Rolls and then the Orange. The best of the bowls, New Year's Day and evening on NBC Sports. Cribbs across the 35. And Bud Brown, 43, on the tackle. Well, New England looking very good. 17-6 now in the second quarter. Collins has just scored from 9 yards out. Philadelphia leading Minnesota. Jaworski to Quick for 21 yards in that one. Kansas City putting it on San Diego in the second quarter. Tampa Bay leading Green Bay 10-7 there in the second quarter. Cribbs has carried the ball 4 times on this drive, 22 yards on the drive. Pitch back to Cribbs. Cuts in the middle. Gets to the 39-yard line. Doug Betters put the cramp on him right there, number 75. Betters now in his 8th season from Nevada Reno. Cribbs in 85.
Excuse me, Jay. What we're seeing here, Jim Ringo, offensive coordinator, calling a lot of running plays as we look at a Dolphin down.
I think it's Mike Charles. Mike Charles is shaken up. Timeout. Back with more in a moment.
If you visited all the places some nationwide long-distance companies don't serve, you'll be on the road a long time. There are a lot of services you take for granted with AT&T that most companies don't have, like calling from anywhere to anywhere, operator service, and immediate credit for wrong numbers. Looks like most companies still have a long way to go to measure up to AT&T. The more you hear, the better we sound. AT&T, the right choice.
That chili you had for dinner has just started a 3-alarm fire inside you. Alka-Seltzer to the rescue. Alka-Seltzer goes to work instantly to take the burn out of your heartburn and also quiet the sirens in your head. So when your body is sending you smoke signals, send Alka-Seltzer to the rescue and put out the fire fast.
Alka-Seltzer to the rescue.
A day in the country. That's something to look forward to. And so is Ford Tempo, the car that shows a lot of forward thinking. Front-wheel drive, precise handling, fuel injection. And Tempo has a design that helps it hold the road. You'll also find Tempo makes the return home again
Hey, look at the sheep.
a lot more fun.
Oh, look, there's a baby.
Have you driven the best-built American cars? Have you driven a Ford lately?
The best and brightest of the bowls are on NBC. Robbie Bosco leads the 9th-ranked Cougars of BYU as they battle Ohio State and the Buckeye sensational running back Keith Byers. Next Saturday, it's the Florida Citrus Bowl. College football's best and brightest are on NBC Sports.
Mike Charles on the sidelines came off under his own power. George Little, number 99, now playing the nose position. 2nd down and 7 from the 39-yard line. And that's Cribbs again. Cribbs to the 41-yard line, and Little and Betters were there. Cribbs and Bell have all of the yardage for Buffalo.
Well, Jim Ringo is trying to establish some kind of a running pattern to try and take some of the pressure off of Matheson. Matheson not throwing the ball very well. They know that the Dolphins have had problems in the past stopping the run, so he's trying to get Cribbs and Bell some yardage to kind of establish some kind of momentum for the Bills.
Cribbs has run the ball for 6 consecutive times now for 27 yards. Matheson out of the shotgun on 3rd down. It's complete on the far sideline. And on the run, Greg Bell down the sidelines. Stepped out at the 11-yard line. Bell's brilliant talent showing there as he was able to make that catch and turn it down the sideline for 49 yards. We'll be back with more right after this.
49 yards.
You don't get to the top by looking back. You go for it. With all the power you can muster, all the confidence, all the poise. And you know that when you finally make your move, you're going to go all the way. Cavalier, for people who know exactly where they're going.
Drive today, Chevy. Live today, Chevy.
Cavalier.
It's a Radio Shack Merry Christmas.
I'm giving everyone a mini phone from Radio Shack. That way they'll call often. It's trim, compact, and has an automatic redial. And the 16-foot cord means they can use it anywhere around the house. But best of all, it's on sale for only $12.95. I even bought myself one. Hello? Hello? Hello?
The mini phone on sale for $12.95 only at Radio Shack. Here's to you, Beechwood Age, for that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
College football's best and brightest are on NBC with 5 of America's top 6 teams. Number 5 Michigan battles 6th-ranked Nebraska at the Fiesta Bowl. Then the Rose Bowl pits UCLA against number 3 Iowa. And the Orange Bowl is the setting as number 1 Penn State battles 2nd-ranked Oklahoma for the national championship. New Year's Day, the best and brightest are on NBC.
Well, it doesn't seem like Christmas around here, as sunny and nice as it is, but from all of us at NBC Sports, Merry Christmas to you. Chris Burkett for the Bills out of the lineup with a knee injury. He will not return today. 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. That's Cribbs trying to get outside. He's at the 5 and down to the 3-yard line. Jackie Shipp, number 50, runs Cribbs out of bounds.
One of the times that the Bills used both Cribbs and Bell in the backfield at the same time as passing situations. This is one of the reasons. The speed, the quickness, and the ability to catch the football coming out of the backfield. Tries to get a block right here by Reed and just gets tripped up or he would have been in for a score. Big play right here, big series for the Bills. If they can get in and score before halftime, Jay, they go in only down 14-7.
And Smith, number 78, is in the backfield again. 2nd down. Handoff going to Cribbs. He hurdled inside the 2. We'll give you a field level look at the play as Shipp and Sendline were there to helped make the play.
At 78, as you see that flash going through right there, not hitting anybody. He says, I'm in the end zone. Give me the ball. I'll score.
Hank Bulla took over for Kay Stevenson before the 5th game of the season. 10th play in this drive. 1:20 to go in the first half. 3rd down.
Bruce Smith still the fullback.
And I don't know. Cribbs tried to go over the top, and Jackie Shipp was up there to meet him. I don't think he got it.
I think they're making a mistake, Jay, by putting Bruce Smith in at fullback and then lining up a speedy halfback right behind him, because the back needs to get to the line of scrimmage quicker, and with Smith, a defensive lineman, it's taking him too long to get to the line of scrimmage, and then you're having penetration by the time he gets there.
If anything, here he lost about a half a yard. All right, the ball is just outside the 1. 4th down. They could get the first down without getting the touchdown. And let's see what happens. Looked like he got just to about the 1. Sin line 52, and Shipp 50 did the job. And they do not get it. It will be Miami's football at the 1-yard line with 34 seconds remaining, and you see a very happy Jackie Shipp there. All right, we've got a timeout. Time for this message.
If you take the Somerset Road all the way out to Mangrove Bay, you'll find a very special place. Captain John's Boatyard, one of the only places in Bermuda you can rent a boat and a motor and spend the day out over the coral looking for fish, or out on the flats just looking. But remember 2 things. Bring some sandwiches and your Visa card, because Captain John doesn't sell food and he doesn't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
There are no better ways to make wine, no better land to grow wine, no better wines than Gallo wines today. Today's Gallo, all the best a wine can be.
She woke from a 20-year coma.
Everything was taken away from me.
Will she have the courage to live again? Elizabeth Montgomery, Between the Darkness and the Dawn, Monday.
Well, an appropriate quote right here from Hank Bulla after what just happened. Buffalo ran 11 plays on that drive, 1 pass to Bell, 10 runs by Cribbs, but they didn't get the touchdown. They went 85 yards in 11 plays. Marino holding on. Fred Smirlis, the noseman, 76, making the stop.
With 31 seconds on the clock, the Dolphins would be just as happy to run it out. Obviously, the Bills want to make them punt the football away.
Well, we've got another timeout, half a minute to play. 14-0 Buffalo. We have 2 players disqualified from this game here in the first half. Mark Duper, who has meant so much to the Dolphins since getting back into shape and into the lineup, and Derek Burrows, the corner man on the left side, the rookie from Memphis State who started today.
And if you're looking to trade 1 for 1, I would have to say that the Bills came out ahead on that one, trading a rookie defensive back for an all-pro receiver.
The Dolphins have scored more first-half points this season, 210 coming into today's game, and now 14. And the Bills, of course, have scored in all 4 quarters. The Bills with 200 points, the lowest in the National Football League. Hank Bulla, he was a standout at Michigan State, an offensive guard, 55 to 58. Played Green Bay for a couple of years in the service. Also was with the Colts, New England, and Cincinnati. Was an assistant with the legendary Duffy Daugherty at Michigan State. Second down for Marino and the Dolphins. Again, the quarterback sneak by the former All-American from Pitt. 27 seconds left to play in the first half. Now this.
Okay, that's 4 McDLTs, 2 large fries, and a Diet Coke.
Right.
Oh. It's hot. It's cool. Don't worry, I'll clean up.
McDonald's, where the refrigerator stocks up.
Oh, right over there?
Oh,
free. Oh, yeah.
Well, NFL 85 will be coming up at halftime, and Jim Hannafin, who was fired after the Cardinals lost to the Redskins yesterday, along with his entire staff, will be interviewed. Bob and Ahmad and Axe and all the crew bringing you up to date on the activities this final Sunday of the 1985 regular season. Don't forget, next Saturday afternoon, join us for the Citrus Bowl. Should be a dandy. BYU and Ohio State. Dave Rowe and Tom Hammond will be joining me for the action from Orlando, Florida at 1 Eastern Time. Third down, and the handoff to Woody Bennett. Bennett across the 10 to about the 11-yard line. Timeout call with 18 seconds remaining to be played in this first half. Don Wilson, 21, on the tackle.
Buffalo using their last timeout in hopes that it's not a first down and then force the Dolphins to punt.
And it's not a first down. Came up about 8 inches shy. There's the playoff picture as we update you.
Miami wins today. They win the division. New England and the Jets must win since Denver has already won to go 11-5. So if either New England or the Jets lose, they're out of the playoffs. Cleveland, of course, already in, and the Raiders playing tomorrow night against the Rams and playing for the home field advantage if they get to the AFC Championship game.
Friday night, Denver over Seattle, 27-24. Yesterday, the Giants beat Pittsburgh 28-10, and Washington beat St. Louis 27-16.
Now we've got to think that the Bills are going to go after this punt with only 18 seconds left in the half.
Rod Hill set to receive. Roby gets it away, and Hill at the 45. Gets to the 47-yard line. A 43-yard punt, a 2-yard return. Joe Carter was down there, number 23 for the Dolphins. 7 seconds showing on the clock. A couple of touchdown passes from Marino to Hardy. And a 14-0 score on the board here in the Orange Bowl on a beautiful sunny Sunday afternoon. Jimmy Teal, 86, is a wide receiver in the game now. And 3 of them set to the left side. And a Hail Mary shot from Matheson. Nobody there. Intercepted at the 9-yard line by Paul Langford. His 4th interception of this season. And halftime here at the Orange Bowl in Miami. The Dolphins 14, Buffalo nothing. NFL 85 halftime, Bob Costas. The
turnovers, the Bills lead in turnovers, as has been the case, it seems, all year long. Our keys to the game for the Bills is avoid mistakes and avoid the turnovers, and the 2 costly mistakes have hurt them today.
As we get set to start the second half, the Dolphins are going to receive. Again, we'll remind you on New Year's night, Penn State under Joe Paterno, Oklahoma will be here. And don't forget, next Saturday afternoon, the Cougars of BYU, Robbie Bosco and company, and Ohio State's Buckeyes. You'll see Keith Byers, 1 o'clock Eastern time, as Big Dave Rowe and Tom Hammond join me for the coverage from over in Orlando, Florida. We're looking forward to that one.
Before the ball game, Jay, several of the BYU players were on the field. In fact, Glenn Kozlowski, the star wide receiver for BYU, who has had knee surgery and is the brother of Mike Kozlowski, a Dolphin defensive back, were on the sidelines and talking about the game and saying that Ohio State looks pretty good, and he says looks very big.
All right, here comes the kickoff. Lorenzo Hampton at the 15, at the 20, the 25. Hampton still going, a penalty marker thrown at the 25-yard line. Hampton averaging 22.9 per kickoff return. Brought that one back 21 yards. Dean Prater, number 79, on the tackle. And let's see what the call is here.
We have flags on the play.
We have offsetting fouls. We're going to re-kick. 58 of the kicking team was offside. 54 was holding of the receivers during the run back. We'll re-kick.
Oh, we've got offsetting penalties. Beaucamper and Dickerson, who committed the infraction. And the guys who are involved in that wedge love to re-kick down there, Bob.
Well, of course, they get to run another 50, 60 yards. That Hank Bulla was saying that one of the things that he wants as one of his top priorities are the special teams. He works a lot with the special teams. He wants to get those players where they can have a feeling that they can be involved in the outcome of a ball game. You've got your offensive and defensive players, and if you aren't first-line players, you can make something happen on the special teams, the kicking game.
Well, Norwood will put it in play again. We mentioned the Citrus Bowl next Saturday afternoon with BYU and Ohio State. Peter Rolfe, who is here producing today's coverage, will be heading up our NBC Sports crew over in Orlando, along with the very talented Richard Klein to do our directing, as he is here this afternoon. All right, here we go. Hampton is at the 10, 15. Another penalty marker goes down. Hampton gets it to the 29-yard line before he's bumped out of bounds. And we'll wait and see what the infraction was. Charles Romes, number 26, over there to make the play for Buffalo. Romes, who's done a great job in the secondary.
Number 84 during the run back.
Call goes against
the distance to the goal line from the 15 to the 17.
Bruce Hardy.
Bruce Hardy to the left of your screen right here. Now he's going to push the man in the back. That's not it.
There it is.
Well, that's it, the end of it.
He kept hanging in there.
It looked to me, though, like the defensive man may have turned on him, but it was a questionable. I could have thrown the flag there, I guess. It was half and half.
14-0 Dolphins. The Dolphins starting deep in their own territory. First down from the 7-yard line. Marino hands it off to Nathan. And Tony is to the 10-yard line, where Steve Freeman, number 22, makes the stop. Marino at quarterback with Nathan and Bennett. Clayton and Moore, the wide receivers. Duper disqualified in the first half, along with the Bills' Derek Burrows. Bruce Hardy, 84, at the tight end. He's caught both the touchdown passes. And now Johnson, 87, is at tight end for Don Shula's bunch. It'll be second down. Second down and about 6. Marino, lots of time, and had to bail out. He just threw it up the sideline. Clayton was standing up there, but Marino just was unable to find anything happening downfield.
He was trying to get the ball to his tight end. Clayton, the wide receiver, went about 3 steps and stopped, and he tried to get the cornerback to come up and jump on him so he could get the tight end behind him, but the Bills had none of it, and good coverage in the secondary.
Marino will be the quarterback who will start for the AFC in the Pro Bowl. Don Shula, 23rd year as a head coach in the NFL, 16th season here in Miami. Joe Rose, Clayton, Vigorito, and Moore all in there. The pass intended at the 20-yard line for Nat Moore, incomplete.
Nat Moore lined up in the backfield, coming out, has an option right there on Johnson. Decides to go to the inside. The ball is thrown behind him. Obviously some miscommunication between Marino and Nat Moore.
Reggie Roby, 2 punts, 37.5 average, kicking from his own end zone. Hill is out there. A high short kick, and it gets a good bounce, and it goes inside the 40, or right to the 40, let's call it. So it will be the Bills taking over after that 48-yard punt. The Bills with Bruce Massison, the youngster from Nebraska, in his 3rd year. Bell, Booker Moore, or Cribbs and Booker Moore. Now it is Cribbs and Steels who are out there, I believe. Cribbs and Steels in the backfield. Coming in motion, Andre Reed. The pitch back to Cribbs. Cribbs banged out of bounds after he picked up a couple at the 42-yard line. Running him out was Bud Brown, number 43. You know, Buffalo's Bills have not had more than 3 offensive touchdowns in a game in 3 years.
Well, that doesn't say a lot about your offense. It's been some inconsistencies the last couple of years. The other problem they've had, and they had it at the end of the first half, is when they get inside the 20, they can't put the ball in the end zone.
On 2nd down, Matheson coming out of there. Penalty marker is down. Matheson has the first down, and he slid in there at the 47-yard line. Picked up 11. Paul Langford, 44, making the play for the Dolphins, but it'll be holding against Buffalo, and they'll bring it back. Referee Gene Barth.
70 offense, holding, 10-yard penalty. We'll repeat the 2nd down.
Joe Devlin, a 9-year veteran from Iowa, holding against Doug Betters. The Dolphins with 4 penalties today, and that ties them with the Skins, who yesterday had 3 penalties charged against them. Right at this point, the Skins and Miami are tied for the lowest penalties in 1985. 2nd down and 18. Reed is offside. Oh, my. Reed was offside as he went in motion. And they also threw another flag.
It's almost getting a little comical when you have one of your wide receivers, the man in motion, go across the line of scrimmage. One of the problems with the Bills, Jay, they're talented. In the areas where they need the talent, they're very young. The wide receivers, the tight end.
Multiple fouls, illegal motion, and an ineligible downfield.
Illegal motion and an ineligible downfield. And offside, I guess, depending on your terminology.
Their skill positions, the quarterback, the wide receivers.
Was number 53, illegally downfield. The motion penalty was
Will Grant, the center, illegally downfield.
Yeah. One of their problems, I was saying, is their youth at their skill positions. The other problem they're having is the mistakes. We've alluded to it all day. I hate to keep harping on it. I know Hank Bulla is about to climb the wall about it. Offensive mistakes, the stupid mistakes that he wants to eliminate.
9 penalties against the Bills for 60 yards. Matheson on the run down at the 26-yard line. Paul Langford popped down on him. Langford, number 44.
Dolphins getting a good rush, trying to contain Matheson because of his ability to scramble, but little 99 went out of his lane, and that allowed Matheson an opportunity to run up the field. Gets down well short of the first down.
That's an item Don Shula is concerned about, Matheson's ability to scramble and cause things to happen. Now here's a whistle. They want a new football. 11:38 to play in the third quarter, and Miami is leading at 14-0. We've got Cribbs and Bell both in the game now. And on third down, you can look for one of them to handle the ball via the pass. Out of the shotgun, Matheson. And the pass is incomplete. It went to Cribbs. It was a tough catch for him. He was spinning around, almost held on. Langford had the coverage over there.
See the coverage and the rush that the Dolphins are getting on. He throws the ball away very quickly. Langford there on the coverage, but Cribbs could have caught that ball. I think he just heard some footsteps and took his eye off of it.
John Kidd having a good day on 2 punts. Tommy Vigorito to receive. Angled to the far sideline, and Vigorito bobbled it, held on, got it to the 40-yard line. 38-yard punt, a 4-yard return. When we come back to the Orange Bowl, Miami will have it with 11:17 to play third quarter.
Pride is back with Plymouth. Front-wheel drive Voyager, Reliant K, Turismo Duster 550 protection plan. Plymouth. The best is born in America again.
The Florida Everglades and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. The Everglades means airboating, as close as you can get to flying without leaving the ground. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer. Cold, crisp Old Milwaukee beer and smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place in Old Milwaukee beer.
Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
Hey, guys, it doesn't get any better than this.
Today's game is brought to you by Plymouth, a division of the Chrysler Corporation. Plymouth, the pride is back, born in America again. By Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light, it doesn't get any better than this. And by IBM and the growing family of IBM personal computers.
First down. Marino looks like he's called an audible here. They operate from their own 40-yard line, and he wants to put it up. Marino back against the grain, completing it to Nathan. Nathan only got 3 yards out of it. Nathan obviously not the primary receiver there. Eugene Marv, the linebacker, stayed at home, number 54, and played it well.
Well, you're right, Jay. He did check off. Both wide receivers, Clayton and Moore, ran takeoff straight down the field, and the coverage was there, and that's why he had to dump the ball off.
This is the third consecutive season that Tony Nathan has gained 1,000 total yards. Nathan out of Alabama, now in his 7th season. Second down and 7. Nathan, first down. Got it just inside the midfield stripe into Buffalo territory. The Jets have the lead at halftime. New England And Cincinnati creeping a little closer there. Chicago defeating Detroit in the third quarter. Philadelphia leads Minnesota. Kansas City having a big day. Green Bay and Tampa Bay tied up. Atlanta leads New Orleans at halftime. Banging through is Nathan to the 45-yard line. Darryl Talley, 56, in there at left outside linebacker.
Let's go back in the pits and check the battle of the nose here with Stevenson. Number 76 is Clark, double teaming. Now you see he helps Stevenson for a second on Smurlis and then goes on, and Smurlis fights off, but the double team is one of the toughest things a nose tackle has to fight against. And if he can stand up the double team and allow the linebacker to make the block, he's done his job.
Nathan, 21 yards rushing, 24 yards receiving. And this comes to Nathan. And he is at the 43-yard line where he's upended by Lawrence Johnson, number 48, the left corner. Johnson playing there now, as you know, if you've been with us throughout the afternoon. The rookie, Derek Burrows, was disqualified in the first half, along with Mark Duper, the brilliant receiver of the Dolphins.
And they were disqualified for fighting away from the ball. There was a little pushing and shoving going on, and fisticuffs followed, and both of them were kicked out of the ball game.
Nathan has handled the ball in the last 4 plays. 3rd down and 4. Vigorito and Rose and Clayton and Moore are all in there now. Out of the shotgun, Marino. He throws, and incomplete, but penalty markers go down. It may be against Don Wilson, the free safety. Let's see. Against Wilson as he was defending against Joe Rose.
Excuse me, Jay. Blitzing, and this receiver right here will break to the inside, and I think this is where the call is going to be. As he comes back to the inside, roams. Now hold it right there. I think that was it right here. I think that was Wilson on Rose is what they call, yeah.
Yep. That's what they call Don Wilson against Joe Rose. First down at the 38-yard line.
She saw Rose running by Wilson. That's why he grabbed onto him.
A fake delay. Marino with all kinds of time. Complete to Tony Nathan. First down at the 24-yard line. 13-yard pickup. He beat the linebacker, Darryl Talley. Talley out there, the left outside linebacker, playing for Guy Frazier now.
Nathan, number 22. Marino, watch Marino slide out now. He's got nobody around him. That is, the quarterback would love that, Jay. It's like playing against no defensive line. The ability that Marino has to slide one way or the other. He has no one in front of him. His vision is clear, and there's no pressure on him. The defense has to contain the quarterback. Get him in the pocket.
Johnson is now in at tight end, number 87. Woody Bennett trying to get around the corner. Not much there. He's knocked out of bounds. Talley again making the play. Talley, who played at West Virginia. The Dolphins have 4 men who will be going to the Pro Bowl. Marino will start, along with Dwight Stevenson. Clayton and Foster, both named to the Pro Bowl unit.
Plus they have 3 alternates, Jay. Their punter, Reggie Roby, Duper, and also Doug Betters.
2nd down and 8. Marino, quick pass out to Davenport. Davenport, penalty marker goes down as Davenport went down at the 21-yard line. Charles Romes was there. Marino is now 13 out of 18 for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns.
No foul, late hit, 55 defense, half the distance to the goal line.
Call went against Haslett, who was also out there. Personal foul, Jim Haslett. Right there.
You know,
for a late hit.
Yeah, late hit. He was going down as Haslett was going to hit him, and he hit the ground. I think if Haslett would have tried to pull off a little bit, went ahead and hit him, but tried to pull off. But I think the intent of the fierceness of the blow, the official went ahead and threw the flag.
7:20 to play in the third quarter. Dolphins leading 14-0, trying to get more. Intercepted. Coming back with it is Hazlitt. Hazlitt tried to lateral the ball, and a big pileup, and the Dolphins get it back. Hazlitt was all the way out to the 45-yard line, tried to lateral it. I think Steve Clark comes away with it.
Here's Hazlitt right here. It's a crossing pattern. Marino never sees him. The thing I talked about a little earlier, this time Marino stayed in the pocket, and there were linemen in front of him, and he couldn't see Hazlitt. That's the advantage. Now, good play by, is that Nat Moore? Nat Moore knocks it out. Here's Hazlitt right here. He's going to drop back as this receiver comes across. Hazlitt picks it off right in this area. Right there. You see Hazlitt staying his ground, cuts in front of the receiver, and then it's off to the races.
Nat Moore forces the fumble right there.
Good play by a veteran football player.
Couldn't pick out who came up with a fumble, but we'll check on it. As it was Steve Clark. That is correct. Thought it was Clark, but we want to double check. Nathan carries the football inside the 45. And Steve Maidlow, number 90, is now playing for Marv at the left inside linebacker spot. There are the turnover situations, 3-1.
You know, Marv, as we look at Maidlow, Nat Moore does so many things for this team. Third wide receiver. He talked about retiring last year. Came on this year and has caught more passes than he's caught in his entire career. And I don't see any way him retiring after this year. I think he's going to go ahead and play another year.
2nd down and 9 for the Dolphins. Diggerito's in the lineup now as a wide receiver. The throw is incomplete. As Don Johnson, the tight end, was the intended receiver at the 35-yard line. The ball went over his head, and Mark Clayton almost had a shot at it down at the 25.
Clayton wearing those goggles was poked in the eye a few games ago, and several of the players are wearing them for the Dolphins. You know, that happens so often as a defensive back comes up and grabs you around the head and mask trying to bring you down. You get a finger in an eye, so a lot of the players wearing the mask.
It looks like he's from outer space. The Miami receivers having to look into the sun a little bit at this time in the afternoon. Out of the shotgun on 3rd down. Marino in trouble. He's sacked. And it was Lawrence Johnson, the cornerback, coming across for the blitz. And that is the 19th sack that they have allowed the Dolphins this year. 18 of them on Marino.
One of the things that Bullis likes to do with his defense is blitz a lot. And you see right there a safety blitz. Johnson lined up as a safety coming on the blitz.
16-yard loss. Roby standing back at his own 25-yard line. Rod Hill downfield. Oh, this is a dandy. Hill at the 10. Goes down at the 9-yard line. Don McNeil was down there for the Dolphins to make the play. 50-yard punt. Back with more action after this.
The American Express card buys Chinese food, rental cars, compact discs, theater tickets, ties, hotel rooms, toys, airline tickets, cruises, VCRs. But at times like these,
Everything was in that bag. My American Express card, everything. Don't worry. Let me have your name.
the card is worth much more than what it can buy.
Yes, we can get you a new card in 24 hours.
The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
Recently, the $12,000 Chrysler LeBaron GTS challenged the $24,000 BMW 528e to a high-performance duel. In crucial tests, LeBaron GTS beat the legendary BMW, and it will keep on beating BMW.
Get 8.6 financing or up to $1,000 cash back.
My wife was having our second child, and so Anthony and I were on our own. And we went to the store, and I picked up a Bargain Baby shampoo, not Johnson's. I thought I was just helping out, but we used it, and Anthony got some shampoo in his eyes, and he began to cry. And I felt awful.
They may say baby shampoo, but many bargain brands sting, irritate eyes. Only Johnson says no more tears.
No more tears isn't just an ad slogan. It's very real. We're sticking with Johnson's.
With best wishes for a happy holiday season, our electronic greetings card from the folks at NBC Sports.
Pageantry and the color of National Football League play from a sunny Orange Bowl in Miami. 5:34 to play in the third quarter with Bob Greasy, Jay Randolph, 14-0 Miami. First and 10 to go from the 10-yard line for the Buffalo Bills. Right up the middle, gets about 5. Cribbs and Steele's in the backfield. Stop made by in there. He was shaken up in the first half, you'll remember.
71 is Charles, taking on 2 blockers, Vogler and Grant. I believe that is. Can't see whether it was Grant. Vogler was in there. Did a pretty good job.
Cribbs, 46 yards on 13 carries. Cribbs again, maybe 2 yards. Tackle made by Kim Bocamper, number 58. Jerry Butler, number 80 for the Bills. In his career, had caught 40 passes against Miami for 562 yards. He's been shut down completely today, the 6-year veteran from Clemson. Matheson, Bell, and Cribbs are the only Bills who have touched the ball today. Nickel defense for the Dolphins. 3rd down and 3 out of the shotgun. Over the middle, incomplete. Trying to get it to Andre Reed, the fine rookie out of Kutztown State of Pennsylvania. Langford had the coverage. Punting time coming up for the Bills as we take a look at it again.
Watch the 2 white defensive tackles cross. Now, this ball is thrown a little bit behind Reed. If it was throwing a little more out in front of him and a little lower, that should have been completed. Just a bad throw by Matheson.
I noticed the Bills now have Christie at right guard, the rookie, and Justin Cross at right tackle, number 63. Vogler's moved over and is playing the center slot. Just did get the kick away. Fair catch called for, and it is Vigorito who holds on at the 48-yard line. Miami will have it there after the 36-yard punt. And we'll be back with more from the Orange Bowl in Miami right after these messages.
Glacier Bay, Alaska and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. Glacier Bay means the one and only Alaskan king crab, sweet, fresh, and big. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer. Cold, crisp Old Milwaukee beer and smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place. Old Milwaukee beer.
Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
Hey, guys. It doesn't get any better than this.
When you're dealing with higher volumes of information and need answers fast, you search everywhere for solutions, but find it hard to get on top of things. That's why IBM created the personal computer AT with the power to push high performance even higher. With the AT, fast becomes faster, and the capacity to handle data becomes greater, all to help put your business on solid ground. The IBM personal computer AT for advanced technology.
Chrysler creates a hot new laser to melt the competition. The new Laser XT.
When the heat hits the street, it's gonna knock you off your feet.
Hotter performance than Mustang SVO, Camaro Z28, Toyota Supra. Chrysler Laser XT. Because the competition is hot, we had to be hotter.
When the heat hits the street.
Now, Chrysler offers you 8.6 financing or up to $1,000 cash back.
Miami has the lead here in the Orange Bowl, 14-0. Jay Randolph and Bob Greasy with you. I would imagine that Don Shula would like to get another score on the board, though. You never know what's going to happen in a game like this.
Well, Buffalo needs 1 touchdown, and they're back in the ball game, 14-7. And but Buffalo has shown no propensity to get down there and score. I mean, they've had an opportunity at the end of the first half and blew it. I'm sure that the Dolphins are pretty happy with their defense right now.
Hand off to Joe Carter. And Carter fumbles. And let's see who's got the ball. It would appear that Buffalo has come up with it. They have. And Carter, who coughed one up here on Monday night late in the game that almost turned out to be a disaster, coughs one up now, and Bruce Smith, number 78, recovers. So the turnover, and we'll be back, and Buffalo will have the football right after this.
Plymouth Voyager with car-like handling, front-wheel drive, 550 protection plan. Plymouth, born in America.
The best hits, born in America. Again.
Now get 8.6 financing or $500 cash back on select Plymouth models.
Hello. With winter setting in, some people are worried about drinking a wine cooler when they are a whole lot cooler than they'd like to be already. So Ed got himself a cooler warmer and has developed a warmer cooler. This is simply Bartles and James heated up along with a cinnamon stick. So if you live in Minnesota or Antarctica or someplace like that, stock up on Bartles and James. It is not only the best cooler cool, but also the perfect cooler for those who prefer a cooler warmer. Thank you for your support.
Energizer Halogen, a light so bright no ordinary light can match it. It outshines ordinary flashlights by up to 300%, and it's Energizer rugged. Up to 300% brighter from Energizer.
Introducing a new, longer-lasting Energizer.
The new Energizer AA battery. It's supercharged.
Now radios play 14 hours longer than before.
It's supercharged.
No battery in the world outlasts it.
College football's best and brightest are on NBC. Kick off New Year's Day with a Fiesta Bowl. The nation's top-rated quarterback, Jim Harbaugh, leads the 5th-ranked Michigan Wolverines as they take on one of the nation's toughest defenses, the Cornhuskers of number 6 Nebraska. New Year's Day, the best and brightest of the bowls are on NBC Sports.
Here's that last play. Joe Carter on a sweep to the left side. He gets slowed down right there. Now, his problem right here, he needs to tuck the football away. When you're going through the line, somebody's grabbing hold of you. You got to pull the ball in and protect it.
Best field position of the day for the Bills to start a drive. And the pass is wide of the intended receiver, Andre Reed. Let's pause briefly now for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is WGRZ TV2 Buffalo.
Oh, you look at Hank Buller right there with Bob Greasy, Jay Randolph in the Orange Bowl. 3:51 to play, third quarter, 14-0. Miami. 4 straight incompletions now for Matheson. Second down at the 41-yard line. That's Eason Ramson going in motion, and penalty markers go down.
Justin Cross, 63, again. The offensive line moving.
False start, 63 offense.
We've got Vogler at center now with Christie at right guard and Cross at right tackle.
You know, Jay, excuse me 1 second. This has happened about 4 or 5 times a day when the man in motion, there's a man going in motion across the formation. A lot of times the quarterback controls that by stuttering his cadence or holding it, and I think the offensive line and the motion man and the quarterback are not synchronized in that cadence.
Second down and 15. Matheson with play action. Out it comes to Steele, and a big play for Jackie Shipp at the 43-yard line. A penalty marker goes down. 3 penalty markers are down.
Delay of game, number 45 for spiking the ball during a live ball. 5-yard penalty.
Anthony Steele spiking the ball. Anthony, who played at Nebraska. NFL update. Let's go to New York now and check in with Bob Costas.
All right, Jay, a few moments ago at the Meadowlands, watch this pass, catch, and hit. Ken O'Brien to the rookie wide receiver Al Toon, heads for the end zone, but boom, Frank Minifield levels him, keeps him from getting in, but Johnny Hector scored on the next play, 24-10 Jets.
And the Jets very much in business. And here, the delay of game call. In the penalty department now, Bob, that's a baker's dozen, 13 for 85 yards.
Well, the Buffalo Bills just got possession, the best field position they've had all game, and in 2 plays, they've gone back 10 yards on 2 penalties.
That's loss of down, too, so this is 3rd down. It is to Butler, and Butler is out of bounds at the 3-yard line. Mentioned just a few moments ago that they hadn't had anything going with Butler all day. Now Matheson hooks up for 45 yards and a 1st down inside the 5.
Here's Butler out here, Jay, just going to come down and break to the inside, and Matheson is going to get him the football. Matheson has been a little bit unsure today, moving his feet around a little bit, but this is a fine throw in between 2 defenders. Big play for the Bills.
Not only Butler's first catch of the day, but the first catch by a wide receiver for Buffalo today. And Bruce Smith, the big guy, is in the backfield. Penalty markers are down as Cribbs crawls across the goal line, but the penalty markers are down, and he had been blown down at about the 1-yard line. Illegal procedure. Another mistake against Buffalo. Oh, Hank Bulle is hot. You can't blame him.
87 offense was moving forward at the snap. 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
They were stalled in the first half at the 1-yard line. They're down here now with a big opportunity.
You can't blame Hank Bulle. I mean, for being upset. That's one thing he said he wanted to get out of the offense was the stupid penalties. It's got to be something to do with the cadence, Jay. There's too many people doing it. It's not the same man all the time.
14 penalties, 90 yards.
Unbelievable.
1st and goal to go now from the 9-yard line. And down at the closed end, the fans are making it tough for Matheson. That's one of the reasons why Miami has a nice little edge playing here at home. Steele now is in the game with Cribbs in the backfield. Well, all of us at NBC Sports want to congratulate Lionel James of San Diego. He's broken the record for all-purpose yards, formerly held by Terry Metcalf of the Cardinals. 2,494, a new record for Lionel James today.
There's a man right there, Jay. It's having a tough day. Matheson completing only 3 of 13 passes. And now the crowd's only going to get worse. It wasn't too bad the first time, but now it's going to get worse once you pull him away. And he lets the fans know that, yes, he can hear them, and they are a part of this game. And now it's only going to get worse.
Now the Dolphin players are asking for quiet. Don Shula's holding his hands up.
And Jay, when I played and you're in a situation like this and you know that this is going to happen because of what's happened in the past, you try to get the play off right away.
Matheson throwing, intercepted, coming up the sideline with it. Out of bounds. William Judson. Well, they were going to Butler. 27-yard return. Judson's 15th career interception. His 2nd interception of this year.
Here's Judson right here. The receiver's going to come down and break to the outside, and Judson will just cut in front of him and make the interception. Judson on the inside technique. The ball is thrown too late, and good coverage equals an interception.
Well, that's the kind of play that's made him the top defensive back here the last couple of years. And another big turnaround, and Miami in trouble moments ago. Still leading 14-0, and the football belongs to them. Here's Tony Nathan. Nathan to the 40. Out to the 45-yard line and a first down. Buffalo, a day of missed opportunities. 17-yard pickup. Tackle made by Rod Hill, number 25. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left to play in the third quarter.
You know, you go back to that last interception that Matheson, standing at the line of scrimmage like that, you lose your concentration a lot. You were standing up there worrying about the noise, wasn't worrying about the play enough.
Nathan, 38 yards on 5 carries. Davenport and Nathan are in the backfield for Miami. Out to Nathan. Nathan gets down to the 48-yard line of the Bills, short of the first down. Anthony Dickerson, 58, made the stop. 46 yards on 6 tries for him today.
There's Don Strock in the baseball cap, the green jacket, the quarterback. You see what a great job he did last week, just catching that winning field goal against the Patriots. He's probably the best holder in the National Football League, the best backup quarterback. Means a lot to Don Shula, and Dan Marino calls a lot of the plays. Very big part of that Miami Dolphins team.
Handoff going to Lorenzo Hampton, who's in the game. And we'll have to wait and see where they're going to spot it down. Hampton out of Florida, an explosive type runner, number 1 draft choice, the rookie. He's from Lake Wales. First carry of the game, and it is a first down. Seeing Don Strock a moment ago, Bob, and having you point out the importance of that man on the sidelines and what he has meant to the chemistry of the offense, I'm reminded in 1972 he led the nation at Virginia Tech.
Pretty good quarterback, pretty fair quarterback. Now as a role player.
Marino on first down, thrown in. Oh, incomplete. Mark Clayton was on a collision course, couldn't hold on. Might have heard some footsteps here.
See, the protection is pretty good. Now watch this. He tries to catch the ball and cut back in at the same time. If he makes that move, that's a heck of a move. But you're right, Jay, it was a collision course.
If he makes that move and holds onto the ball, it's a touchdown.
Oh, no question about it.
29 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Miami leads 14-0. Second down and 10 for the Dolphins. The 45-yard line of the Bills. Hampton to the 41-yard line. Hampton is stalled at that point by Darrell Talley, number 56. You know, Bob, these Bills have played pretty well defensively this afternoon. They really have.
They've played very well. They've forced the Dolphins to punt on several occasions, intercepted Marino one time, sacked him once. Done a very good job.
I don't know what the crowd is chanting here, but they're looking up at somebody and chanting. We have played 3 quarters, and we'll be back after these messages from your local station.
Tonight, the joy and happiness of Christmas with that special Disney touch. It's Mickey's Christmas Carol tonight.
This New Year's Eve, there's going to be a dazzling display of class at the Odd. In the 3rd annual Tucks and Pucks Classic, the Buffalo Sabres will try and put the Boston Bruins on ice. Come dressed in style and see the New Year's game free of charge. Rent a tux from any Tuxedo Junction location for $19.86 and receive 2 free tickets to the hottest New Year's event in town. Join me, Ed Kilgore, for the Tucks and Pucks Classic and put your New Year's on ice.
Like a lot of Western New Yorkers, the Johnson family went to stereo TV this year.
Mom, it's on.
The trouble was, the local television stations didn't, except one.
Announcing WGRZ Stereo TV, a whole new dimension in video entertainment.
Sounds so good, it's like being right there.
WGRZ Stereo TV, working harder to be Buffalo's best.
Hear the difference. Come in for a free demonstration of stereo television at Silo today.
Spend a little time with Zorba.
This is how the time goes.
And the time will fly by when Zorba comes to town. Anthony Quinn's Encore Tour, your last and only chance to see the man live. The role he was born to play. The musical to warm your heart. Zorba. Live it, love it, see it now.
Tickets are on sale now at all Ticket Rack locations or call 856-6681 to charge from Harvey and Corky.
Season's greetings from all of us here at TV2.
A valuable piece of equipment, the left foot of Glenn Blackwood. Sprained ankle. They've iced it down. He's in street clothes. He wouldn't mind having a week off.
He'd love to have a week off to get that ankle healthy.
Third down, 6. And flags fly. And
False start, number 76.
false start. And that means that the Washington Redskins are going to be the least penalized team in the National Football League for 1985.
I don't think Shula's worried about that right now.
I don't either. Although he takes great pride in that.
He really does. And that time, the Marino was checking off. The Bills were up and showing blitz. He checked off, changed the snap count, and Steve Clark just moved a little bit prematurely.
Third down and 11 from the 46. And Marino operating out of the shotgun. And he did a good job of getting away from the blitz, but Joe Rose couldn't hold on. Nice play by Jim Perryman downfield. Steve Freeman also there.
Bills have done a good job putting pressure on Marino. Ball was right there, but good coverage by Freeman. Marino only throwing for 125 yards so far in this ball game is well below his average.
We're early in the fourth quarter. Roby back in punt formation. Rod Hill set to receive it. High in the sky. Fair catch. Taken in at the 12-yard line, and that's where the Bills will have it. 34-yard punt. Miami 14, Buffalo nothing.
It's a Radio Shack Merry Christmas.
Radio Shack has a great selection of battery-powered toys. Our kids love Galactic Man, an electronic robot that can be twisted and turned into 3 galactic guns. And they're thrilled with Armatron, the robotic arm that works just like a robot. They can play laboratory and simulate scientific experiments. Our kids are going to enjoy these toys someday.
Exciting battery-powered toys, $3.99 to $29.95, only at Radio Shack.
You begin with raw steel. Shape it with fire, muscle, and sweat. Polish it to razor-sharp perfection. We're looking for a few good men with a medal to be Marines.
Who's gonna be at the Silver Bullet tonight?
Rob, when you get a chance. So are you gonna call her? I'm thinking about it. 2 Coors Light, Rob. What's there to think about? Call her. I said I might. Arnold, there were 100 guys in here last night. She talked to you. Jack, I was sitting on her coat. It's a very unique approach. Give me the quarter. Rob, you got a quarter?
There's no slowing down with the Silver Bullet tonight.
Coors Light beer.
Today's game is brought to you by the United States Marine Corps. We're looking for a few good men. By the 1986 Volkswagens. It's not a car, it's a Volkswagen. And by Coors and Coors Light, beers with a difference worth tasting.
With Bob Greasy, Jay Randolph here in the Orange Bowl. 14:44 to play. The Bills have not scored a fourth-quarter touchdown in their last 6 games. And they have the ball at the 12.
They need 2 right here.
Matheson wants to put it up. Now he's on the run. Matheson stepped out of bounds just about a foot short of the first down. Give him about 9 as he rushed up the right side. After 3 periods of play, the statistical picture of this one.
Yards passing, that's net yards passing, and total yardage pretty much even, 206 to 209, but the Dolphins taking advantage of 3 interceptions to lead 14 to nothing.
Oh, we're going to get a measurement here. I thought he was just a little short.
You know, Jay, when you look at those statistics, it really points out how well the Buffalo defense is playing, because
yes,
Miami's
they deserve
offense,
a lot of credit.
Miami's offense rated number 3 in the entire National Football League, being held just a little over 200 yards in 3 quarters.
Well, the Dolphins are in pretty good shape. They win the AFC East title, defeating the Bills. The only way to miss the playoffs for them would be to lose by 35 points, while the Patriots and the Jets and the Broncos all win, which, of course, not going to happen. Second down and less than a yard. Reed in motion. Greg Bell, first down. Bell gets it to the 27-yard line. He was stopped on the play by Hugh Green, number 55. Miami leading here 14 to nothing. The Jets leading 27 to 10 in the 4th period over Cleveland. New England holding on by 4 over Cincinnati in the 4th.
New England struggling. Cincinnati is within a touchdown of winning that ball game and eliminating the Patriots from the playoffs.
First down for the Bills. Matheson has time, throws to the tight end, Ramson, penalty marker down. Ramson hit at the 32-yard line. Jay Brophy, 53, there to make the stop. Seems like we've had a myriad of penalties here in this second half.
87 offense, 10-yard penalty.
Ramson, offensive interference. Eason's been around, as I mentioned. He originally was with Green Bay in '78, was with the Cardinals, with the 49ers, and with Houston. Played at Washington State. We've got one of the Buffalo Bills shaken up. Don't forget next weekend, the wild card game in the AFC. You'll see it on NBC, and you'll want to check your local listings for the day and the time. 13:53 to play in this one. 14 to nothing, Miami.
In Germany, people love high-performance driving. And when they want the most fun for their money, they hit the road in a Volkswagen GTI.
What you say?
GTI. It's not a car, it's a Volkswagen.
I'm Dan Marino, and at Christmas time, I take care of the hands that take care of me. I pass isotoner gloves to the hands that catch my passes, and I hand off these custom-fit isotoners to the hands that carry the ball. And of course, I never forget to take care of my blockers, because how can I throw a pass when I'm laying on my back? This Christmas, give isotoner gloves by Aris, and take care of the hands that take care of you.
Okay, stand by. Let me know the minute that film comes in. In this business, you can't stop for a headache. I used to take aspirin or Tylenol, but I've switched to Advil. In its first year, doctors have recommended Advil more than 500,000 times. You see, just one Advil is as effective as 2 regular-strength Tylenol or 2 regular aspirin. That makes sense to me. And Advil didn't upset my stomach. Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
Jim Richer was the injured player. He's come off, and rookie Mark Trainowitz, number 62, out of Nebraska, takes over. You've got Trainowitz and Christie and Cross, 3 backup linemen in there for the Bills, with Vogler now playing center for Will Grant. There's the penalty situation. Matheson completing it to Reed. Reed gets to the 27-yard line. Andre Reed, the number 4 draft choice, the rookie from Kutztown, state of Pennsylvania. Lyle Blackwood, playing for his brother Glenn at the strong safety spot, makes the tackle. In that Cincinnati-New England game with 8:13 left in the 4th period, Craig James has scored from 12 yards out. And it's now New England 27, Cincinnati 16. A little breathing room for the Patriots. 13:10 to play here. Dolphins leading at 14-0. Second down and 11. Complete to Eason Ramsden. Ramsden short of the first down at the 35-yard line. Lyle Blackwood again making the tackle.
Here's Ransom right here. He's going to come in motion and then come back down the field. Blackwood right here will be on the coverage. Timing is so important. He's open right here, and you got to get him the ball right there where he had the biggest cushion or biggest margin between the receiver and the defensive back. Bruce is a little bit late in all of his throws today.
He's 6 out of 17, 128 yards and 3 interceptions. Trouble, look out! The Dolphins have it. Bill Barnett out of Nebraska comes up with a football.
5 turnovers for the Bills. We mentioned a little earlier, right here is Vogler. He's going to snap the ball and then try to get out here and block. What he does is he gets out there too soon, and he snaps the ball too high. Matheson knocks it up in the air, but that's a problem for a center, moving before you complete the snap.
Can the Dolphins again make something happen after the turnover? Quick toss comes out to the tight end, Joe Rose. Rose to the 15-yard line. Don Wilson on the tackle. It was Hardy, not Rose, excuse me. Bruce Hardy, number 84. Philadelphia over Minnesota in the 3rd quarter. Kansas City having a field day against the Chargers. Green Bay now leading Tampa Bay in the 3rd quarter, 13-10. And Atlanta shutting out New Orleans in the 4th quarter. Hazlitt is back into the game for the Bills. Hardy's caught 5 passes for 52 yards and 2 touchdowns. First down. Johnson is in there now at the tight end slot. The give goes to Nathan. Nathan is inside the 10. Mark of a good football team is to take advantage of the turnover when you have the opportunity. Darryl Talley, 56, made the stop there. They place it right at the 10-yard line as Hardy comes back in. Hardy and Johnson have been rotating most of the day along with Rose. The plays coming in from the bench on occasion, of course. Signaled in quite often from Strock. Second down and 5. Banging his way through for a couple is Tony Nathan. And they're about a yard short of the first down. In underneath the pile, number 78, Bruce Smith, the rookie from Virginia Tech, made the stop. Now Johnson is back into the game at tight end for the Dolphins. Rodney Bellinger, 36, is in at the left corner slot now for the Bills. He's a second-year man from Miami. Went to school at Coral Gables High School. Bulla yelling out to his troops. 3rd down and 1. Nathan has the first down as he is to the 4-yard line where it'll be 1st and goal to go. 10 minutes left to play, and Miami trying to put the capper on it here. They lead 14-0.
Take a look at this play as they go to the right side of their offense. Tony Nathan back in the ball game, doing a lot of the running now that Joe Carter fumbled that ball. It's 2 fumbles in 2 weeks, as we said, Jay, and I'm sure that John Shula is disappointed because he was trying to get more speed in Joe Carter back into the offense, and in fumbling that play a while back, his 2 fumbles in 2 games, and Shulo forgave him for last week, but I'm sure he's going to remember this one.
Nathan, 48 yards on 8 carries. First and goal to go. Nathan again. Nathan to the 1.
Gain of 4 yards to the 1.
It'll be second and goal to go. Stop made by Jim Haslett. Hey, talking about Carter's fumbles as we look at some of the paraphernalia on the old stands here. Fumbled on Monday night, fumbled in. That's 2 fumbles actually in 6 days.
Well, he really wanted to get Carter in the game.
I know he did.
A knee injury earlier in the year. He wanted that speed in there, and but he will not play somebody if they put the ball on the ground.
He was the last back to have 100 yards for the Dolphins back against Houston in '84. Hurling in for the touchdown, Tony Nathan. They got the break. Nathan carried the ball 5 consecutive times and got it in.
It hasn't been easy for the Dolphin offense. They've struggled. They've turned it over. The Bills defense has played very tough. But finally they get it in. I feel like they're just kind of going through the motions now here, Jay. It hasn't been a real good game for the Dolphins offensively.
Quad Reves, who beat out Von Schaman and Garcia, kicks the point after. He's had a big year. 8:47 remaining in this football game. Miami 21, Buffalo nothing. And
number 84 offense, tripping. 10-yard penalty, will re-kick.
Going to re-kick, as you heard. Call against Hardy. Talking about Claude Reves, quite a story, out of Sunset High School here in Miami, from Bogota, Colombia. The team record, 117 points set by Garo Yepremian. And coming into today, he had 112. He makes this point after. He'll have 115.
Extra point is good.
Kick is good. And now we'll take a timeout with 8:47 remaining in this football game.
When do you say LA?
It's time to start your chestnut.
We're on NBC Sports.
Home field advantage. It's a very nice item.
Well, that's what we're saying. The Dolphins are playing for. This is what they've done. They're 7-0 at home. The Raiders are 7-1. Patriots 6-1. Look at the away. What their records are away are a lot worse than they are at home.
Anthony Steele at the 15. Penalty markers go down. And Steele is hit at the 17-yard line. The stop made by Ron Davenport on the specialty unit. Gene Barth has been busy holding against the Bills.
Let's go back and take a look at this graphic. Look, these are the 4 of the 5 teams that'll be in the playoffs. Look at their away schedule, away record, as opposed to playing at home. The advantage of playing at home is obvious. The Dolphins are going to be here for their first divisional playoff game. If the Raiders win tomorrow, they'll play at home. And if the Dolphins and Raiders win, then they'll play the AFC Championship game in L.A. So very important who plays at home.
Bell and Steele's in the backfield. Matheson throwing to the far sideline. Got a man over there. It's Reed. And Reed is all the way out for the first down at the 36-yard line. Hugh Green, the linebacker, had to make the tackle. 29-yard gain on the play. Good-looking rookie here. Andre Reed.
Young people in skill positions. The pressure is off now. The game has been decided. Now they can come out and start playing a little bit. But this is still valuable experience. But sometimes when the game is over with, then the players relax and then do some things that they don't do earlier in the ball game.
Matheson throwing. The catch made by Reed. He's hit immediately at the 43-yard line by Jackie Shipp. Bob, I noticed that Don Strock is throwing down on the sidelines. There he is, loosening up.
He hasn't been in a game in a while. I think the last game he did any real damage in was the first one of the season when Marino was a holdout and came back and didn't play very well, but a valuable commodity right there.
Talk about home field advantage. With this win, the Dolphins will be 17-2-1 here against the Bills. Matheson throws it away.
But not only that, Jay, but the Dolphins have won 11 straight now.
Incomplete.
They've won 8 of the last 9 against the Bills.
Exactly. And you talk about the home field advantage, and what does it mean? The home team has won the last 8 AFC championship games. So if you're going to be at home, you'd say you'd have a pretty good chance of winning that championship game.
Doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt at all. And for Shula and the Dolphins, they always have tough time going out and playing in L.A. against the Raiders. So they'd like to see the Raiders lose or tomorrow or the next day.
Bell and Cribbs are both in there on 3rd down. Matheson throws, and the pass was too far in front of Jerry Butler. Beaucamper putting on some pressure there for the Miami Dolphins. New England and Cincinnati, well, it's getting closer again there as Collinsworth has scored from 8 yards out on a pass from Boomer Esiason.
You got to give credit to the Bengals. Out of it, eliminated yesterday when Pittsburgh was beaten, still giving the New England Patriots a run for their money.
4th and 3, and the Bills are going to go for it with 7 minutes left in this game. Let's call it 4th and 4. Cribbs coming in motion. Matheson throwing, and incomplete. Trying to get it to Cribbs, who was trying to get between the seam. And Lyle Blackwood a little upset that he didn't come up with a ball. He thought he had a shot at it. Next weekend, NBC Sports will start our journey to Super Bowl 20, the American Football Conference wild card playoff game. And, of course, this weekend's action will decide the wild card participants. We want you to stay tuned as NFL 85 will update you on just what is happening and what the conclusions are going to be. NBC Sports will be there for the action for the wild card game. Check your local listings for the day and the time in your area. And, of course, start your day with NFL 85, Bob Costas and all the crew, and stay with NBC Sports all the way to Super Bowl 20 in old New Orleans. Strock is the quarterback. Penalty markers go down as Lorenzo Hampton, the rookie, carries down to the 42-yard line. Tally on the tackle. The attendance today, 64,811 here at the Orange Bowl.
Offsides against Buffalo.
58 defense, lined up in a neutral zone. Still first down, 5 yards.
This is a new record for the Bills, an unenviable one. They had 14 penalties in a game against the Jets back in '82. 17 for 113 yards here today.
Well, I can guarantee you that Hank Bulla, there are going to be some changes made between now and next year, because his team, once he gets full control of it, will not be that penalized next year.
Dean Prater, number 79, is now playing the right end spot for the Bills. Jim Jensen goes wide to the right, number 11. He's in the game. Handoff to Davenport. Davenport goes inside the 35, stopped there by Charles Romes, number 26.
You know, Jay, we talk about how much home field advantage is. You look at this graphic right here. 12 of the last 15 Super Bowl champions have had the home field advantage throughout the playoffs. That's what you play all season for, and that's what it's come down to in this last week of the season. It's important for the Dolphins to win this one, and of course, it's going to be doubly important now for the Raiders to win against the Rams tomorrow night to maintain that home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
Marino finished the day 15 out of 24, 136 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. This one intended for Jensen, batted away. Bellinger, 36, had the coverage. Strock in action.
Strock, I'm sure, just having a little fun out here. Crash Jensen, a former quarterback. They call him Crash. He got that nickname from going down on the special teams. Very valuable player on this team is Jim Jensen. He doesn't play quarterback anymore. He always lines up at wide receiver and special teams, but he could play quarterback if they needed him.
First pass Strock is thrown since the opening game. Third down and 1.
Had it on the
pretty
money.
good.
Of course, I'm sure Jensen's going to talk to him about hanging him out there to dry.
Hampton has the first down. Stevenson, the center, pulling as he can do so well. Don Wilson on the tackle.
Now that's tough right here for a center to snap the ball and then pull around the end and get a block on Wilson, the linebacker. That's one of the reasons why, right there, that he is the all-pro center for the AFC.
The late Bear Bryant coached him at Alabama. Said he was the best center I ever coached. 5 minutes to play in this one. 21-0 Miami. Penalty marker goes down as Hampton gets near the 27-yard line. We'll see what the penalty is. Gene Barth and his crew have really been busy here. Offside against the Buffalo Bills. Tack on another one. Chicago
lined up
in command over Detroit. Minnesota leading Philadelphia in the third quarter by 4. Kansas City's had a field day against the San Diego Chargers. Tampa Bay back in the lead over Green Bay. They're in the fourth quarter. Atlanta over New Orleans in the fourth quarter, 16-7. Strock throwing outside, completing it over there to Tommy Vigorito, his first catch of this season. Bellinger had the coverage, number 36. Quite a story here, Bob. This fella coming back from a very tough injury.
I believe this is his first catch as a pro, Jay. Not only this season. He had one earlier in the year that was nullified by a penalty, but tough injury last year.
Oh, New England comes back again.
And Vigorito had that injury against the Buffalo Bills.
First and 10 from the 17-yard line. That's Davenport. Inside the 15 down to the 13. Bob, you and I saw Davenport as play got underway in preseason doing the Dolphin games, and he was very impressive. He leads all the rookie running backs with 10 touchdowns rushing and has 12 overall on this year.
Done a fine job. And Strock, you know, a lot of people, as we look at Frank Reich warming up on the sideline, a lot of people have wondered about this two-quarterback system and how does it work. At some teams it works well, and it certainly has worked well for the Dolphins with Strock knowing his place as the backup and Marino being the number 1 guy.
Davenport. And they're celebrating here his 11th rushing touchdown, 13th of the year. I remember way back into the preseason, Bob, that you and I worked these Dolphins. That man right there was troubled. He had his hands full. Holdouts, people injured, all kinds of problems. Said it was the toughest preseason he's ever been through. This is perhaps the finest coaching job that Don Shula has ever done.
Well, there's a lot that'll vote for that.
The kick by Fuad Reveiz is up and good. 28-0 with 3.5 to play. Yeah, you know, you look around and Laxo and Kuchenberg are gone. Bob Baumhauer had the problems.
On the kickoff. The point's good.
The point is good. The penalty will come on the kickoff. What a job Don Shula and these Dolphins have done.
Well, this is a good run and good blocking, but I think it's also a little bit of give up by the Buffalo Bills. Right here, poor effort on the tackle by Romes to try and tackle someone that big. that high. As we see another look at it, just a trap with the guard pulled from behind.
Davenport, the boomer from Bermuda, who played at Louisville, and he's had himself a very fine first year in the National Football League. Miami shutting out Buffalo now, 28-0.
You talk about Shula and what a good job he's done, and is this the best ever job he's done? Earlier in the season, Jay, after 9 games, the Dolphins were 5-4, and he came out with quotes such as you're seeing here on the graphic. But he also was saying things like, we're doing all the things that losers do. We're struggling. We're at a crossroads. All these things. And then they turn around and win their last 7 ball games to go 12-4, gain the AFC East Championship. At that point, they were 2 games behind. Just kept the faith and kept plugging.
There he is, of course, and it would help to get Duper back. Here is Wilson on the return, still going. And he gets it out to the 32-yard line. Will we see Frank Reich, 27-yard return on the play. Mike Smith, number 18, in there to make the stop. It'll still be Matheson. 3:24 to play.
Well, if things continue the way they are now, the wild card game will be New England and the Jets next week in New York. We don't know yet whether to be Saturday or Sunday. The winner of that game will go to L.A. to play the Raiders, and Cleveland will come to Miami to play the Dolphins in 2 weeks.
And Bob Costas, of course, NFL 85, will update you right up to the minute when this one is concluded on the playoff picture. Pass complete, and it is number 86, Jimmy Teal, out of Texas A&M, making a nice catch. Lyle Blackwood on the tackle, 20-yard pickup. Pete Metzelaars, number 88, is in there at tight end for the Bills now. Metzelaars, who played at Little Wabash, came from Seattle in the Byron Franklin deal. Clock running with 2:50 to go. Over the middle, complete to Bell. Bell loses the football. The Dolphins say they have it. And they do, and another Buffalo mistake.
Bell makes a good catch, and you really can't fault him for trying to make more yardage. You just have to hold on to the football when you get in traffic. And, Jay, you know the key to the game going all the way back to the start, we said they had to avoid the mistakes, and they certainly have turned the ball over 6 times. They already lead the National Football League, and the penalties, we said they had to avoid penalties. Well, they've made 16 or 17 penalties, 17 there, and it's just, you just cannot win by turning the ball over 6 times and being penalized for 117 yards or whatever it was.
Bud Brown got it back. He recovered the fumble. That was Davenport, stopped by Smith. Brown's 5th fumble recovery of this season. Young man from southern Mississippi. Brown, who was cut and re-signed in '84, 11th round draft choice. He's
always around the football, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
I can't help but think, as we look at Bud, what this Buffalo team would have been like with a young man named Jim Kelly.
Here's Joe Robbie, the owner of the Miami Dolphins.
To the left of the screen there, yeah. Joe's got to be very pleased about being the AFC East champion after the tough start.
We'll be back with more. This is the 2-minute warning. Well, at a couple of points in this game was a little shaky, but the Dolphins have it all their way now, 28-0.
I really don't feel as though the Dolphins played that well.
No.
Offensively, they didn't. Defensively, they certainly did. But I think Buffalo came in and played well defensively for a while. But I don't really think the Dolphins were there. I think if you talk to them, that they won't really be that happy about the way they played. They needed the win. They got it. But I think they're going to be looking forward to a couple of weeks.
Yeah, they're looking forward, I'm sure, to the week off. They're looking forward to getting ready. And this is a team that, under this man right here, have, the wherewithal to go all the way. When you look at the statistics this year, they certainly don't warrant the kind of applause that this club had last season, but the job has been done. That's what counts. They're in the playoffs. They get the week off. They've got a home field advantage. They've got things pretty much their way. They have a lot of opportunity to control their own destiny down the road.
They've had a little distraction this week, too, if you want to call it distraction, as we see Hampton being chased out of bounds, and that is Shula's son, David Shula, has been rumored to be strongly considered, as we see Holding on the Dolphins, strongly considered for the head coaching position at the Philadelphia Eagles.
There's Carl Tassif and some of the
Bob Matheson and the
Dolphin people upstairs.
Mel Phillips. I don't see David in there at this point, but
well, we wanted to try and talk with David about the situation. He has indicated that he will not speak to it today. David Shula is 26 years old, a very brilliant young man, and there are different reports out of Philadelphia. He was offered the job, some say. Others say he hasn't been offered the job. Some say that the talks have broken off, but it'll be interesting to see what his future is in professional football. Davenport breaks the other way. Davenport in a foot race. And Davenport all the way down to the 33-yard line. Bellinger, the last man who had a shot at him, was able to run him out of bounds.
Well, there's no question, getting back to David Shula, as we look at this play again, that he is qualified for the job. An outstanding young man. He never ran like this, but Davenport is getting some good playing time. The speed that this man has for a big running back. See how upright he runs? One of the things that the Dolphins try to do is get him to run down low, and he has done that most of the time around the goal line.
57 yards for Davenport, a touchdown today on 6 carries, 33-yard romp that time. 55 seconds remaining in this game. First down. The Bills with 19 penalties and 123 yards. Here's a final score, New England, and the Patriots are in. The most penalties in a National Football League game, Tampa Bay versus Seattle, October 17th of 1976, 20. Well, the Bills are just one shy of that record. We're down to 20 seconds. Strock just holding on. 64,000 plus celebrating here as Miami wins the AFC East 28.